Welcome to the open book, where every voice matters. Every story got layers, and every conversation opens something new. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page, baby. Every story got meaning. Every perspective shows. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Late night talks with the smooth bass knocking. Whole room tuned when the topics dropping. Authors, culture, real life views. Open book vibes bring a whole new groove. No fake energy when the dialogue starts. Different perspectives play a major part. From page to podcast, the vibes stay deeper. Real conversations every single week. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Every chapter different. Every voice got purpose. Every voice got purpose. Turn the page.
Hello. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a happy Sunday. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Let everyone know that we are live. Also, this live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. All right, y'all. So I have been waiting on this video. Okay, and I know it's been months. That we've been waiting on the interrogation footage from Lulu, okay, in the Tyrone Davis case. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Tyrone Davis case, I'll even give you a brief summary first during this live. Y'all, let me just say, this is something I'm very passionate about. Shout out to Nothing But the Truth. When I tell you, she stood on business, okay? She ordered these videos and she did not give up. They kind of gave her the runaround, and she came up against a lot of kind of obstacles during this time, waiting on these videos. But y'all, thank the Lord, she finally received the video with the when I tell you 4 hours, 4-hour interrogation room footage. And I stayed up the first night and watched all of it. Okay. So then, y'all, make sure y'all tap that like button. It is for free. So then, y'all, we're going to go through now. We're not going to do all 4 hours. Okay. No way. But what we are going to do is, this is going to be a series. Okay. Probably a 2-part, 3-part series. So today, because I want to break down and show evidence of some things to counter some of the things she was saying in the interrogation room. I also, and I'm going to talk about it during this live, y'all. I was going through the incident report again, okay? And I am going to show y'all that portion of the incident report. Now, we've have already gone through this incident report, y'all. But do y'all know, just a few minutes ago, as I was looking over it again, something stood out to me that I had never noticed before. And this information, in my opinion, it definitely leads to some type of foul play. Okay. And that there may be someone else that could have possibly allegedly been working alongside of her to try to cover something up or conceal something. Now, I cannot say that she on a live draw, but what I will say is, during it, you can see for yourself when we get into it and start watching it, is she definitely knows more. Some of the things she left out of her little testimony in there. And then they caught her up in some things that we had not even talked about or knew of before. Okay, until this interrogation room footage. So, y'all, we are in for a ride because, y'all, that man did not deserve any of this. Okay, I truly don't feel that it was an accident. I don't feel that he jumped out of a moving vehicle. That whole narrative, they can squash that. Okay, they can miss me with that. I truly don't feel that. So let's get into it. Let's see who we have here so far. Hey, Inspiration, welcome. And thank you for being first in the building. Hey, Lady McGriff is in the building. Welcome. She said, I'm so sick of this. Lulu. Okay. You and me both. Hey, Cino, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Linda. Thank you for joining today. Hi, Miss Elaine is in the building. Love you too. Thank you for joining. Queen Patrice is in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Ian. Ian said, "Open book got me just looking into this case." Lulu, fine. Is she? Wait a minute. Look, you ain't gonna have me admitting that. Okay. You're trying to get me caught up, Ian. Okay. Don't Hey, she got multiple personalities, so don't get caught up with the looks too. Okay. We're gonna meet a couple of those personalities on the video. Hey, Detective London is in the building. Okay, Linda says she just gonna call it. Patrice said, "Oh, I'm watching Lulu on What Didn't Add Up, and I got 3 more hours to go." Oh, wow. Hey, Verb, welcome. Thank you for joining. Yes, girl, I watched the whole thing too. Okay. Hey, your mama magazine is in the building. Welcome, sis. Hey, Detective London, again, and thank you for the jewel, sis. Thank you for also being a sponsor for today's live. Mama's 80s is in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She said, I'm not the one. Hello? I'm not the one that pushed him out the car. Well, who did, Lulu? Okay. Who did? Hey, Lana, welcome. Thank you for joining. Welcome, Miss Richardson, to you, to the open book. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you for being here. Mama Magazine says she has about 6, 7 personalities. Y'all, it was kind of scary. If y'all didn't see my short, I was trying to put the short out there for those of you who are not familiar with the case, but we literally saw her jump in and out of personalities right in front of our own eyes. Okay. It was a little like, that girl needs some help. Like, seriously. All right. So, a quick overview for those of you who have been following other cases with me, but you're not as familiar with the Tyrone Davis case. There's a young man by the name of Tyrone Davis. He also goes by Dro, right? And so he took his girlfriend on this trip. It was a Christmas getaway last December. And during that getaway, there were a number of things that took place. Kind of like an argument per se at the cabin. They stayed in this cabin, and it's on Facebook Live. Where everything looked gravy. He had decorated the cabin and so forth. And I may even show that before we get into it. And so then, y'all, they left the cabin on that Saturday because they thought that they were supposed to stay until Sunday, according to what she's saying, right? And they went to check instead of going back home because they headed then from Gilchrist to Gainesville. This is in Florida, okay? Instead of just heading back to their house, they stopped and wanted to check in at a hotel, Fairfield Inn, there in Gainesville, Florida. So in the midst of all of this, she states, and we're going to hear it from her mouth, some of the chain of events. They got into an argument about different things, and different things was on his mind about his daughter allegedly, and he was so frustrated and upset. So they stop and get pizza because he gets hungry. They stop and get pizza at Papa John's. And lo and behold, her story is that Tyrone Davis jumped from a moving vehicle as they were on their way back to the hotel. Okay. Now, the autopsy report did show blunt force trauma to the back of his head. He was found on the side of the road by some um, other, witnesses while she drove on down the street to a gas station and parked. Okay. She said that, she just thought he was getting out the car with the whole pizza and wings, child, and was going to come up to the gas station to meet up with her, but he never did. When she saw the ambulance and so forth, she decided to go back down there to see, hey, Lena, welcome, to see if he was okay and blah, 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 blah. When she drove up, then he, was on the stretcher. They were getting him and so forth. She talked to the witnesses. But y'all, his body, the lack of bruises, broken bones, all of that, it does not coincide with what she stated. In one breath, she says he jumped from a moving vehicle. In another breath, she's saying he got out. Okay, it's not consistent. Now, you will also see with this interrogation footage, y'all, there were multiple attempts. I didn't know about that. Okay, when we were going through this story, they saw, and I don't want to give it away, but it was a multiple attempt. Also, y'all, this is not her first rodeo. She has an ex-boyfriend that has moved on, okay, that was thrown from a whole vehicle and was about to lose his life. It was nothing but God that he didn't die. Okay, she crashed the car, flipped, okay, 5 times, and he was ejected. She had her seatbelt on. She failure to control speed. She's got multiple tickets for that. I don't know, she just spazzes out, blacks out. And so he's moved on. He said that allegedly he can't remember everything that took place during that time. So then fast forward to Tyrone, he actually did lose his life. It wasn't her first rodeo, and best believe Tyrone not going to be her last. Okay? If they do not get that girl some help, okay, or some jail time, enough is enough. Like, girl, what? And she didn't tell the police, y'all, about that incident, but I'm going to show y'all, okay, the paperwork from a previous video I did. I'm going to show y'all so you can see how this girl rolls. Okay, so we're going to get into it, y'all. It's been, oh my gosh, a long time coming for us to tap into this. All right, so recently, though, Tyrone had a birthday, y'all. So before we even get into the other part, I want to show y'all this short of her going out to some beach. I don't know where she was. And it was the dramatics of it all. She's so predictable. I just knew that she was going to do something because she hides out. She doesn't really come out too much because she knows we're watching and so forth. Every time she comes out, I'm coming too. Okay. Every time she pops out, I'm popping out too. I want to see what you're talking about. Okay, so she had this whole post, y'all, for his birthday. Did she get arrested or questioned? Yes, she got questioned. That's what we're actually going to tap into because Nothing But the Truth got a copy of the interrogation room footage. Okay. Hey, Shine Like a Diamond. It's been a while for me on this case. Me too. Y'all, we have been covering this case since January of this year. Okay, but look at how long it took for Gainesville Police Department to finally release the interrogation room footage. It's crazy work. Okay, hey Shawana, welcome. Obi, when you get to Nolan's case, check Nerdy Pink Panda. I'll be waiting for y'all to help me process all these random white people. Not random white people. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, Ian, I cannot. Okay. I'm gonna definitely now. We did talk about Lainey, so she got some on Lainey. We gonna definitely come around to that because I want to hear what she has to say. All right, so let's get into it. Thank y'all for keeping me in the know because Charles was over here doing my investigating on this. Came across a little nugget I didn't notice before. So now I'm gonna have to get into my Nolan investigation after this live.
Beautiful. Happy birthday, my king. I love you. Oh my God, I love you more than anything in this world. I will celebrate you, my best friend, the love of my life, and God's favorite angel. Happy birthday. I will forever hold you in my heart, baby. It's so
Okay,
beautiful.
so that was the recent video that she just did, y'all. I believe that was on August 16th, not too long ago. It was a few days ago, when she did that video. And hey, Cakes Plus, welcome everyone coming on in. Sean Grayson gone. Who is Sean Grayson? Sean Grayson. Who is that? Abishwa. I hope I said that right. All right, so let's go. Let's see. Let's go here. Give me 1 second. I want to pull up. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up Tyrone's video. Yeah, what was I gotta um what was the name of the page? I ain't been on there in so long. Grayson and Sonia Massey. Oh, he died? Oh, wow. Thank you, Detective London. Welcome. Look, I keep saying welcome. Thank you so much, sis, for being a sponsor, is what I'm trying to say. Shout out to Cakes Bless also for being a sponsor today. Oh, wow. So he died because he had cancer. He was trying to get out of jail. Yeah, for cancer. What was the Facebook name, y'all? I haven't been on there in a minute. Dro's Facebook is not under Tyrone Davis. Did they take it down? Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'll just show for right now the pictures because I forgot what it was under. Okay, hey Irma, let me share this. Okay, so here's a picture, one of the last pictures, y'all, of them together. Now Tyrone was an influencer, okay? He was an influencer. He pretty much recorded everything. He has his YouTube was taken down, okay, prior to his death, I believe she said in May. And then we kind of thought that was a little suspicious, but she then put up a legacy YouTube, right? So it was a whole thing with his YouTube coming up missing and so forth. So this was one of the cabin photos, okay? This was him too. They had these little postcard cabins there in Gilchrist County, okay, under Marriott. He had decorated the cabin saying, I love you, Lulu. She had purchased him another Glock, a gun, for Christmas. And so they did, had it all. Oh, Stepdaddy Joe, it might be under that. They had it all set up, okay? He had games set up for them. Look at her, just a smiling and cheesing in the doorway. And he just went all out, y'all. He showered her with flowers and gifts and just love on all of the videos that we've seen with them together. This was one of the games that they were playing there. Took her on fancy trips a lot and all of that. They looked like they were just so in love. Okay. Until that fateful day, Tyrone lost his life. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and head over to the interrogation room footage. Okay. Because then this is kind of where we can break down what all took place. Make sure y'all hit that like button. It is for free. Once again, shout out to my sis, Nothing But the Truth, for this footage. Now, Tyrone Davis, when this incident happened, it was on a Friday, okay, in December, the 20. Oh, oh, y'all, why am I off with my dates? But it was that Friday in December, the last Friday. And this here, because see, she had time, okay? This interrogation room footage was a Wednesday. So she had time between that Friday to that Wednesday to go and give her statement. Okay. So to me, that's already a no no. She should have immediately went to this interrogation room. He was loving on that young lady. I didn't appreciate that at all. Exactly. That's her. She looked like she gained a lot of weight now. Yep. And she has a boot on. She had surgery. And then prior to the trip, I believe a couple of weeks before that, she had another surgery. Hey, Rhonda, welcome. She had another surgery. So she had this boot on. Y'all see her with the boot. So that's why she has that. So Tyrone would do a lot of the driving anyways, okay? He usually drove them around. She's on this trip with this boot. And then, y'all, this happens. Now, being that she broke pattern is also a red flag because Tyrone usually drives. This particular time when they got into it, she chose to drive. When people break pattern like that and then you have a whole man lost his life, it's suspect to me. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Same thing in the Nolan Wells case. Certain things when patterns are broken, okay, you just gotta wonder what happened that particular time. Hey Simone, welcome. Okay, Mama Magazine. Thank you, sis. Girl, it's been oh Lord, some months. Look, I should have jotted down like the little details like that, the actual date. I know it was the Friday. No, the Saturday. Hold on. Hold on. Saturday to Wednesday. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second because I wanna get that date. I don't want to be giving wrong information. Thank y'all for hitting that like button. It was the 27th. Okay, you're right, Mama Magazine. Thank you so much. It was that Saturday evening. Okay. I have to refresh my memory, y'all. We got so many cases, the numbers jumbling up. Okay. Since then, it's been, let's see, Dro, Carmelo, Nolan. It's been so many cases. Oh my gosh. Lulu was a very large woman for sure, but I thought he got surgery done. She got surgery done. Yes, on her knee. But not you're talking about like weight loss surgery? She wasn't limping when she was talking to the cops. She wasn't. No. That's her, Rhonda. It shocked me too. Hey, Smiley. When I first saw her, even when I saw her walk up to the cops on the body cam footage, I said, is that her? They were at the cabin longer than I expected. Yes. They had been there like since that Wednesday, y'all. And I had thought it was like an overnight thing, but no, they had already been at the cabin. She said she thought they were supposed to stay till Sunday, but they ended up having to leave that Saturday and go and get a hotel room. Okay. Hey Irma, welcome. Let's see here. She gained a lot of weight since this case first came out. Yes, definitely. She did. Now, like I said, this was back during that time though, that Wednesday. So even then she had gained weight. So I don't know how she looks now because I haven't really seen her on any videos. So this video is not recent. So if she's gained weight since then I don't know how she's looking at this point. Now, something I want you all to notice in this video in the very beginning is pay attention to what she's doing with her cell phone while she's waiting.
All right. Are you gonna need any water?
Yes, please.
All right. You get yourself. I'm not closing the door all the way.
Okay, thank you.
Just for some privacy.
Okay.
So to me, y'all, in my opinion, it looks like she's deleting messages. Okay. I want y'all to pay attention. It looks like she is deleting messages out of that phone. Okay, clock it. Lock Vegan. Okay. Lock Vegan said, hey, I'll be in chat. She's deleting stuff. I know it when I see it. I'm always trying for more space on my phone. Hello? Okay. Now why? Why are we doing that right now? Y'all, I'm telling you, pay attention to what she's doing. And y'all, she also knows that she's being recorded. Like I told y'all, this is not her first rodeo. Okay? This is not her first rodeo. And the reason I know she knows she's being recorded, when she needed to get out of the room, they had closed the door, and I guess the door locks from the inside. She couldn't get out. She looked up at that camera. She knows she's being recorded, but she's hurrying up thinking, oh, let me just pretend like I'm over here messing with my phone. No, girl, you up here deleting and texting stuff. Okay, right. I want to know, who are you texting right now? You supposed to be in here. You're talking about what had happened to Tyrone, child. If you was gonna do that, you should have did that in the car. Now it's on video that you sitting up in here deleting and texting things. Okay, yeah, probably giving her a story to tell.
Thank you.
Hey, PJ, just keeping it real. Welcome. Thank you, Inspiration.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
find either sweater or you just got a bed sheet.
Oh, we'll take the bed sheet. Just because I got on this type of jacket.
So, first of all, I'm so sorry about all this
I
has happened.
appreciate that.
It's very hard, very hard thing to endure in general. And then, like I said, being asked to talk to us any further could always make somebody worried, right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
what we would ask, I would imagine, is that you're honest, right?
Yes.
No matter what it comes of it, you just gotta make sure, like, because then what happens is we start doubting you, and it's like, we don't want that.
No,
And we don't
of
like to waste our time either, to be honest, because that could take on forever to get to the bottom of it. And I think from the looks of it, I feel like you're gonna be honest with us.
Yeah, I was with the first person, so everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want rundown of just your whole week. I know y'all were in Gilchrist County.
Yeah, we were in Gilchrist
Okay.
Springs. We had a cabin. We got one of their little tiny cabins, and we spent Christmas there. We was there from Wednesday to Saturday. We I think Wednesday was Christmas Eve, so which will be, I think, right, Christmas Eve was Saturday, Wednesday,
I think you are.
or you can put Christmas Eve, so just to make sure that the dates align with each other. So we got there Christmas Eve. We went shopping and everything before that from Orlando. I got my makeup done and everything because we took Christmas pictures inside the cabin and stuff. So we spent our week there. I mean, not the week there, but those days there, just enjoying Christmas. It was amazing. We actually thought we were supposed to be there to Sunday, but we only booked it to Saturday. So we were trying to extend it a little bit longer, but we couldn't. So we ended up leaving. But before we left, during that stay on the last day, we did get into an argument while we were at the Marriott property or whatnot. We were kind of just going back and forth for like one of our issues with each other as far as like making sure that we're taking care of each other's needs and things of that. So it was like a disagreement of that, of feeling like, well, I'm not getting what I need, or I'm not getting what I need, or
Shout out to everyone coming in. Hey, phenomenal Scorpio. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. And it'll be easy to follow. This one is pretty, it's not as complex as the Nolan case for sure. So it's gonna be easy for y'all to pick up on some things. And then I'm gonna show some other paperwork and so forth. So thank you. I appreciate the support. Right on Mama Magazine, no sadness or tears at all. If it was my man, I would not be able to talk exactly. Making sure the dates align, sounding like art. Oops, okay. Fake crying because she started sniffling. Notice when the investigators were about to come in, that's when she grabbed the tissue and started wiping her eyes and doing the little sniffing. Now, y'all, something else to clock. Like I told you, I wasn't her first rodeo, right? Well, she came in there like this was a hotel, child. She had already put in a request to get a blanket. Okay. And the detective, she brings that up later on too. She said, "Now, hey, you came in, you wanted a blanket. Is it because you're cold or you nervous and shaking?" She kind of peeped it. Lulu, what happened to Dro? Say it again, Patrice. Like she really cared about that man. She's speed talking. That's something else I picked up. Yeah, she's over talks to him sometimes too.
just something like that. So we ended up, during the process of me packing up some of the stuff in the car, someone from the property came by and was like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. We're in an argument, but we're getting ready to leave now." So I made only one interaction with one Marriott employee. It was just real beef. He just got back in the truck and was like, "Okay," and just left it alone. They didn't make any specific contact with us or anything. I don't know if he would have if I wasn't coming out the door or not, and would have came all the way up, but I told him we were okay.
Was it getting heated though? Like, was it loud or anything?
Yeah, we were yelling, and we both, like, when we argue, we both yell. So yeah, we both were yelling.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Now there was a witness that heard them arguing. Now these cabins, and if y'all go back through the Tyrone Davis videos, you'll see I did a video that even showed like what the cabins all look like, the area. They're in this like wooded area, and there is a little space in between each little postcard cabin, right? Well, someone heard them really, I guess, talking loud, arguing, and called the guy who goes around. And they don't even have, it's not like a hotel where you can go and check in per se. It's like in this country looking area, but I guess he came up and just wanted to know, is everything okay? Now, let me also say that in the police report from Gilchrist, okay, they didn't see Tyrone. The witness said that she heard his voice, but they didn't really see Tyrone and what he looked like when he left there and so forth. Okay, she was doing most of the talking and during that time. Now, this is the time when she chose to drive. She was so upset this particular time. She said this is her car and she was going to drive her car that time. So as they were packing, that's when the guy drove up. Then he said he drove, he kind of parked for a little bit, make sure they were unpacking, out of there and packing up the car. And then he drove away for a little bit. By the time he came back, they were gone. So he never saw Tyrone even get into the car. Okay, so it's, and then another witness there at the cabin said that she saw Lulu's car going the wrong way on a one-way. It parked for a little bit, stopped, and then eventually they left. So that was weird too. PJ said, "OB, is she still walking around free?" Girl, yes. Don't get me started. Okay, don't get me started. Mama said it's like she already was rehearsing what she was going to say. And they were probably texting, whoever that was she was texting may have been giving her some things to think about and to say also. Okay. Hey, Hanada, welcome. Yeah, those cabins were too tiny. It's no way I would be in those cabins. Okay. Trying to find out who's next in line, allegedly. Yes, Rhonda, this is the recent interview. Well, when I say recent, recently released, but y'all keep in mind this was recorded early January, okay? Because Tyrone, hey, he was found on the side of the road on the 27th. Then he went on to life support, and then they I think they unhooked the life support that Monday. And so here, this was that Wednesday of that week is when she came back and was being questioned by police. So this is not, I don't want anyone to think this is like recently, like now in this month recently. No, this would have been towards the beginning of the year is when she did this interview. Yes.
They might have heard a sound, if anybody heard a sound, because when he got mad, he threw his Wi-Fi router. I was gonna say my router because it's under my T-Mobile account, but it's his because he drove trucks. So he threw it down and that broke. Or whatnot. I think I still got that in the car actually. Hence to, it's gonna bring you to the next part of the story.
Now, by her explaining that part, it made me a little suspicious as well. I had not seen on the actual Gilchrist police document, that report, anything about them saying they heard a loud sound. Now, by her volunteering that, this is the first time I heard that info. She said that Tyrone, now see, Tyrone's not here, unfortunately, for us to verify this. Now, she's saying the router, she was about to say is her router, but then she said Tyrone uses it because he was a truck driver, that he uses it. Now, she's saying that Tyrone threw the router, which would have made a loud sound where these neighbors would have heard that. But in my mind, okay, was that really what happened? Okay, as we're getting to the accident or all of that, because they're going to ask her, because my first thought before the detective asked her was, are you sure he threw the router or did you hit him with the router in the midst of this argument that was so loud? Okay, so that was something that I kind of questioned when she brought that up, because that was not in the report about a loud noise. They talked about the argument, they talked about her going the wrong way, but as far as like the loud noise part, no. So this could be her word against Tyrone, and like I said, he's not here.
So we ultimately ended up leaving, and I was like, the white truck is mine. So I was like, I'm driving, even with this bad ankle. You could tell I was mad. I shouldn't have been driving, but I still chose to drive. So we proceed to head to Gainesville, and we go to stay at their Fairfield Marriott. I have the exact name if you guys need it. So we go ahead and check in, and at that point, because of the argument, he stays there at the hotel. But I go to T-Mobile. I can give you that T-Mobile I went to as well. Let me see.
Now, y'all, hold on, let me get through this commercial. Okay, now keep this, okay? Now, y'all done just got into an argument, right? And this is my thought process, okay? Y'all were going to check out on a Sunday. This is a whole supposed to be a romantic getaway. I'm still to this day confused about all of the arguing that y'all were doing on a whole romantic getaway. I don't even think it was supposed to be to that level. And so when y'all get to the hotel, this is the new hotel. Welcome. Hey, Jessica. Was she going over notes? Girl, that's what it seemed like. Obi, when you get a chance, scroll up and see my post. Okay, let's see right quick. Irma. Okay, Obi, I left something for you on the committee. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that, sis. I will definitely look into it. Now, this case is over for sure. Nobody's saying anything since the thrill, my money back. My wait, give back my money gone. So sad though. It was a good person at heart. Oh, with Jerome. And so the thing of it is, so y'all are going to this hotel. It's check-in time. So they go in on the video to check into the hotel according to the detective Dose's notes. Now, you mean to tell me during a whole Christmas getaway, your focus is on a router? Okay. Oh, we're all mad and upset. You go on in there. Let me go. I'm about to go and exchange this router. Okay. Now, my thing is this. Was it really because y'all just needed that router right then? Or was it to go and get a replacement because of what had just transpired at the cabin? Okay, let me go and switch it out. Let me hurry up and get another one because of what could have potentially taken place. Now, notice how ready she is, y'all, with the information as far as the addresses. Hey, it is what it is. Welcome. Okay, yeah, we're gonna pray that God just brings justice. Now, notice she has addresses to these places. This was supposed to have been an unfamiliar place to her. Okay, with the pizza place and the hotels and all of that. So she comes in ready with the address to T-Mobile. Who does that? Because I would have just been like, yeah, I went to T-Mobile. Hey, Detective Sheila, I went to a T-Mobile. I left him there. We needed a cool down period. I went to some T-Mobile to get, baby, she got the address ready. Okay. No thoughts about just, let me go into details about how I was feeling during that moment. But she trying to make sure that she gets her stuff together and lined up in order. You're not too late, Sheila. You came at the right time because, baby, it's about to get up and popping with this. Just flowing off her lying tongue. Okay, now I'm paying attention. I haven't heard about this. Yes, Irma, I'm telling y'all, it's going to be quick to catch on. Oh, my God. Shout out to Early Years Unfolded. Y'all, this is Doc. Oh, my goodness. Look, I just told her about, a week ago. I was like, I have not seen you in forever. Just checking on you. You always make me smile when you come through the chat. And welcome as an open book member. I think you've been one, so maybe you're renewing it. Thank you for tapping in, Doc. You see, we finally got the footage. Okay. Look, you've been gone and we finally got it. You came back just in time. Thank you so much, sis.
Okay, the T-Mobile's address is 2 Northwest 16th Ave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like I think it's like 15 minutes from that. Yeah, from that hotel. So I went there. I was in there for a while, talking to them about getting a new router. I had told them that it dropped off the truck, his work truck. I didn't tell them what actually happened. I just told them about that in case that detail is important. So
now, y'all see why I said what I said? Okay. Why would you have to lie to T-Mobile? Why do you have to lie to T-Mobile? She told T-Mobile that the router fell off the truck. See, she was putting it on Tyrone even then. Okay. Everything gonna be Tyrone, child. Everything, Tyrone was mad. Tyrone threw the router. Now she going to T-Mobile because, see, she doesn't know if they are going to go to T-Mobile and ask. Okay, so now you're telling T-Mobile this story, but you trying to get ahead of it and tell the detectives that you basically lied to T-Mobile about what happened with the router. Why is there a need to lie about what happened to the router? See, she was trying to hurry up and cover her bases, even with that router. I think she was trying to hurry up and switch it out. What really happened to the router, Lulu? That's what we want to know. Why would you have to go to T-Mobile? And then did y'all clock? She had already timed the distance between T-Mobile and the hotel. She had already clocked the amount of time. Okay, hey, Life, so I'm wondering if both counties came together. Probably not. They should have. Gilchrist probably would have done a better job because they were more on some things, okay? And they said they were they were willing to work with Gainesville Police Department. They were willing to, that's what it said in their notes. Yeah, she was way too prepared, okay? Thank you, Doc. That part. So now they're going to be looking at her like she's just a little liar. This was one of the first lies we clocked. Okay, she already told them she wanted to get her story straight. So see, she wanted to put that out there because she knows these detectives could have gone over there and said, well, what happened? She came in here to get a router. What happened with that? And then when they say, well, she said he dropped it off of a truck. Wait, what? That's not the story she told us. She told us that he threw it in the cabin. Okay, so what's the need of lying to T-Mobile?
At that point, they submitted a request for me to get a new router sent out or whatnot to my house in Orlando. Ended up leaving and let him know I was outside or whatnot. He told me, he asked me if I could bring him to get him something to eat because he was hungry. So from there, the argument, I can't remember how it started back up, but we started back arguing. It was just one of those days, like all couples have. Sometimes it's just a day of arguing, you know.
We've all been there.
We've all been there, and it just continued. So what we did then at that point from the hotel is we went to Papa John's, and I can give you that address.
Okay.
It's 3605 Southwest Archer Road. So
y'all didn't had, so for those of you who don't know, when she went to the T-Mobile, it took about 2 hours. Who goes to T-Mobile for 2 hours? Now, yes, if you get new service and all of that, it can take that amount of time. But she didn't even walk away with the new router, child. They said they were going to send it to her. I'm wondering, does she know someone at that T-Mobile? That was one question that came to my mind when I was listening to this. I wonder if she knew someone at that T-Mobile. Now, they've had a gap in time. Tyrone was still at the hotel. She was by herself. So when they go back, you mean to tell me you still on demon time? You still arguing? Like, what is escalating this? I think all of that is BS in my opinion. Y'all wasn't doing that type of arguing. You're trying to make him look like he was in a certain state as to why he would want to jump out of a vehicle or get out of a vehicle. Are you sure you weren't hitting trigger points? Because the man is saying he's hungry. Okay, so is it possible you stayed gone? Maybe he was upset behind you staying gone so long and he hungry. So then by the time you come back, what took you so long? Are you telling the truth about what the argument was about? He hungry, his mind is on food. So all this arguing, you hangry, and you probably hit pressure points, because I don't know what your problem is during that time, because you're not telling us. That makes it worse. Okay, so then he gets into the vehicle, and then they head to the Papa John's. Notice she has the address already to Papa John's. Like, you've been thinking this through, and this is why, y'all, I said she didn't need the gap in time. After it happened, they should have brought her down to that interrogation room. See, she's had time to talk to people, his mama, other people, get their stories together and stuff like that. Y'all had time. So Gainesville Police Department, they really dropped the ball on a lot of this. Okay, and then these detectives can tell she lied, and really the lady was doing a really great job. And until towards the end, I was like, wait a second, now this is shifting. What's going on? Because she was peeping some things. So if they were mailing the router, what picture and when was it taken of the router in the T-Mobile bag? Well, that's something I'm wondering, because she did show a T-Mobile bag, but I'm wondering, was that the new router or was she showing us the broken router? But now you got me wondering, and I'm gonna have to go back and find that picture. Was that supposed to be the new router? Because if that's supposed to be the new router, we done caught her up in another lie. Okay, thank you for bringing that up. The argument started up again because of her. She planned it. Exactly. It was to keep us arguing. Okay, Lulu said Dro hated to argue. Thank you. Thank you, Patrice. But now all of a sudden we in a scenario with a man trying to go eat and you saying all of this arguing and stuff is escalating to different stuff. And then it's not staying on one topic. So his mind was all over the place in a span of a few minutes. Like what? Why does she keep the broken router? Why not toss it? That's a good question. Facts, 2 hours, or someone was waiting on her to come through, okay? Because that's what I was trying to figure out. Did she know someone at that T-Mobile? Was she out and about somewhere else? I don't know. Let's see. Tyrone Davis Jr. was a Florida man whose tragic and mysterious death in December 2025 became a viral news story. Yes, Neo, it did. I thought they both left to T-Mobile. No, it was just her. Right. His girlfriend, Kiara Lulu Davis, was the last person to see him alive. Nope, they did not secure that scene. They didn't. And they gave out the police report. You better say it. Look, Neo giving y'all some highlights. Those of y'all who were not familiar. The Christmas getaway, the couple went on a holiday vacation to Gainesville, Florida. According to Kiara Lulu Davis, the couple got into an argument in the car. Okay. She got into a rage, Hanada. Yes. And remember, Auntie Son was like, have you talked to Kiara to make sure our stories match? Oh, yes. That was a big thing there. Lulu claims that Tyrone voluntarily jumped out of the moving vehicle, after which she continued driving home and left him behind. Child, you better say it. You done put in some summaries right there. Shout out to Alicia. Thank you so much for the jewels and for being a sponsor. She was waiting on the other party to show up. Shine like a diamond. Hey, you on to something, okay? It is really sad. It really is. Okay, so I just want y'all to clock that. And I'm filling in some gaps and she not. Okay.
I stayed in the car. He usually typically doesn't order online, so I don't think because he always has me do all the stuff like on the phone. So I think he went in to order, and he got the box of pizza. I don't know what kind of pizza it was because, like I said, we were arguing. I wasn't paying attention to that, and we end up leaving from there. At that point, I'm still driving. So how we had to get out from the Papa John's, based off of my maps, I thought I had to go towards where the bridge or where he was found at. During towards that direction. But
Interstate?
Yeah, we're off of Archer Road and that interstate or whatnot. So I had to go there. And at that point where that intersection is, that's where I did the U-turn to go back. Cause I'm like, I don't know if I'm trying to remember, but either way, I thought that was direction. And once I realized and got my maps, it had me turn around. So that's what I did. And at that point, when I was turning, when we were, going back and forth arguing, but the argument, it turned into not just us, but it turned into, him and us talking about some altercations, or not altercations, some situations with his daughter, they weren't on one accord as far as she getting in trouble and lying and things of that nature. So he was just expressing in her sharing to him that she wished him finding in her phone that she wished she was dead. So that was something that we were talking about, and also talking about, just frustration that the mother of his kids and what she's putting in the kid's head to make it even cause conflict of the children and how they're looking at him. So that was, I'm not saying it was happening at that exact moment, but that was it wasn't just us. It was a lot of topics that it was. And I think at that point he got so mad, whatever part of that conversation we were in, he ended up jumping out the car. While I was driving. I originally told the officer that I think I might have been slowing down.
Now, what would that have to do if that was something that was on his mind? Why would that make him mad at you, Lulu? Okay, that to me seems like a conversation, but the man is hungry. He was just at the hotel by himself for a couple of hours. And y'all done just got pizza. Y'all going to get pizza. And you mean to tell me the whole conversation has now shifted again? You're going from angry to him now talking about a conversation about his daughter and his baby mother. And now all of a sudden he's that mad and his mind is so gone until he jumps out of a vehicle. Are you sure what you are reciting is not what was on your mind and what you were talking about? And you trying to project that onto Dro? Because now I'm starting to wonder, okay, were you upset at his daughter and bringing up some conversations about the daughter and her mother? Like, what was it with you? You can't maybe believe it was a one-sided argument and Dro just got so upset, so overwhelmed, so this and so that. Oh, now I have my pizza that I've been waiting on. I'm hungry. Let me just jump out of this vehicle. What? Girl, I think you were in your own mind and you trying to project that onto him. That would be crazy. Like, what is she really that crazy? Wow, exactly. 2 hours at T-Mobile, router being mailed, and they don't ask for the broken one back so they can fix and resell it. Come on now. I thought I was the only one that thought that was crazy. Okay, but now that you see, now that you say it, that's what I'm thinking. Why wouldn't they keep that one? Because then you're going to have two. Or did they tell her to trash it? But you keeping this little piece of evidence. Did the police ever take the router and look at it, test it for any possible blood or bleeding? Did they do their due diligence with that router? Being that she brought it up, okay, it wasn't on the report about a router being thrown from the Gilchrist report. So I would have definitely looked into that, being that she brought that up. Prep the calmness detectives. I would be an emotional wreck telling this story. Oh yeah, they peeping her. You will know this was fresh when she was questioned. She was really taking notes from the podcaster to help her. Oh, okay, Coco, right. The Haitian came out of that demon. Hey, Miss Boss Lady, welcome. We know it wasn't one-sided. Exactly. Did she line this up? It's extremely abnormal for a black man to jump out of a moving car. People scare me these days. Exactly. He not just, come on now. And then, y'all, I want y'all to peep her word changes, okay? She'll go from jumping out of the car to got out. See, that matters. The word changes also matter. So I want y'all to also peep when her words and the phrases change. The cops didn't do nothing and they had her car. Exactly.
I saw him getting out, but I cannot remember. Like, from what I'm realizing right now, I think it caught me off guard when he got out the car. But because I was doing a U-turn, I don't think I was going fast. I told the initial officer, I think it might have been 25 miles per hour, but I kind of was just guesstimating because I really don't know about driving speed and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, I was doing a U-turn, so I don't think I was yanking it, like going super fast. But it's like, I truthfully don't know. But at that point, that's when he jumped out the car. But how what our relationship is, he's never physically jumped out the car during an argument. But like, he has a really big personality, so he'll jump out the car, like, you know, as far as if he sees somebody, like as it's slowing down, rolling and stuff like that. So him jumping out the car wasn't like something abnormal, but it was more abnormal for him to do it during an argument, because typically what we did when we would argue is if we were in the car with each other, we'd typically park or we'll stop, because there's been times where he's through the car and parked and got out, you know. And yeah, so we typically, going back to that, typically us.
So those things are different. And welcome everyone coming on in. RB Music Lane. This is a, I would say, from an interview from early January, but it's new. It's just being released to the public from Gainesville Police Department, if that makes sense. So it's not like she went back to the police station recently. They are just now releasing the interrogation room footage. Now, y'all, if y'all didn't catch it, she said that as she was coming out of a U-turn, when you're coming out of a U-turn, you're not going 25 miles per hour, because, child, look, your car gonna flip over, okay? So notice she goes in between getting out and jumping out. Those are two different things. In the example that she gives, she also says, oh yeah, when we argue, you know, it's been times we pull over and let the other person get out and they, you know, walk up to, you know, meet us and so forth. But that's different, y'all. This man has a whole pizza and wings on his lap. So did you pause for a second and let him out? Or was it as you were turning, the door was opening and then he just jumped out? Because none of his injuries match that. Okay, especially if you're saying 20 to 25 miles per hour. He had no broken bones, y'all. He didn't have any like major scrapes on him or road burn or debris in his, you know, if you 25 miles per hour going like that fast and you jumping from a vehicle, you could get carried under the car. You could scrape up your body, possible broken bones. He had none of that. But what he did have is that blunt force trauma to his head. Okay, I want y'all to continue to remember that, and also remember this whole router situation and her saying what happened at that cabin as well. Okay, because that all of this is on the same day. It's on the same day. Okay, she looks very worn out from trying to think of how to get out of this. She definitely not looking flashy anymore. Okay, did they ever take it? Take what, Lena? The router? Her story sounds ridiculous. Exactly. She said he never jumped out with her, and then said when he jumps out like what somebody told her to say that. The mama, his mama, allegedly. Okay, because she co-signed this BS. You know that your son didn't jump out of this moving vehicle. Now, did he possibly do some? Y'all know how like he was a car guy, okay? They do these car shows and all of that. Were they at one time before, were they doing like car tricks and things like that? I don't know. I don't know. But as far as just jumping out of moving vehicles, no. Where's the proof of that? Okay, it's no proof that he just jumping out of random vehicles or just, you know, because he could have hurt himself and so forth. Wait a minute. Did she say he threw the car in park or something? I didn't hear he threw it. Sounds like she threw his situation with his kids in his face while she was angry. Millionaire Miracle, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Something had to happen in that truck. Wondering if the freeway has cameras. Oh, inspiration. The thing of it is, there were no cameras there, but there's a country inn and suites that's right there at that corner. We're going to get into that too, because they did have camera footage. But guess what? Someone recorded, they recorded the footage with their cell phone, but they positioned the phone just enough where you couldn't see when the door opened what happened. By the time they went to get the original footage, the detective went to get the original footage off of their camera, it had already allegedly been recorded over. Now, I don't know if they could go back and find that in their system or whatever, but yeah, the main piece of evidence, it was so ironic, came up missing. Clock it. In that video, it showed the door opening in the curve, but she said after the curve is when he jumped out. Exactly. This video has to be edited. When she said to the female cop the accident, I told about talking about the accident with her ex, but we never heard her say anything about the accident. Oh, she talks briefly about that, but she doesn't go into details. She doesn't even mention the ex. I don't know if y'all clocked that or not. Well, okay, let's continue. Let's continue.
When we argue, we'll get out the car from each other, but we'll give each other space, because it's been so many times to where he'll get out the car and I'm literally following behind him and cause conflict of the children and how they're looking at him. So that was, I'm not saying it was happening at that exact moment, but that was kind of, it wasn't just us, it was a lot of topics that it was. And I think at that point he got so mad, whatever part of that conversation we were in, he ended up jumping out the car.
There is a platform where you can search billions of historical records, uncovering hidden stories of your ancestors.
While I was driving, I originally told the officer that I think I might have been slowing down when I saw him getting out, but I cannot remember. Like from what I'm realizing right now, I think it caught me off guard when he got out the car. But because I was doing a U-turn, I don't think I was going fast. I told the initial officer I think it might have been 25 miles per hour, but I kind of was just guesstimating because I really don't know about driving speed and stuff. And I'm like, I was doing a U-turn, so I don't think I was yanking it, like going super fast. But it's like, I truthfully don't know. But at that point, that's when he jumped out the car. But how what our relationship is, he's never physically jumped out the car during an argument. But like, he has a really big personality, so he'll jump out the car, like, as far as if he sees somebody, like as it's slowing down, rolling and stuff like that. So him jumping out the car wasn't like something abnormal, but it was more abnormal for him to do it during an argument, because typically what we did when we would argue is, if we were in the car with each other, we'd typically park or we'll stop, because there's been times where he's through the car and parked and got out, and yeah. So we typically, going back to that, typically us, when we argue, we'll get out the car from each other, but we'll give each other space, because it's been so many times to where he'll get out the car and I'm literally following behind him in the car, like, come get back in the car, and we're arguing. It turns it into something bigger. So we just decided, let's not follow each other in the car. And usually we just pay attention clearly, because we need a ride back anyway, to where the direction we see the car go in, and we just walk back. And so when he jumped out the car, I proceeded to head to, I think it's a Circle K further up. I go to that Circle K and I don't even park at the pump. I park like in front of the exit or whatnot, so that he can see exactly where I'm at, so he can just walk to the car. So it was probably like 5-6 minutes. I'm not sure at the time. I'm like, dang, what's taking him so long? So I'm getting aggravated. I'm like, why is he taking so long? He want to jump out the car. He want to take forever. Let's get back to the hotel. So then I pull up a little bit further on the driveway so I could see if I could see him walking down the street, and I don't. And at that.
Okay, now y'all, for one, if he did jump out, she didn't catch y'all. She kept going. She just kept going and kept going. Okay, now before you get to the Circle K, though, on the right hand side where his body was found, okay, there are other stops she could have made. There's a Burger King parking lot there. She could have made a stop there. She kept going and just parking there and waiting. Were you waiting to make sure he was no longer going to be here? Okay. Making sure possibly get hit by a car? What were you waiting on? Because you could have, if you just waiting for him to walk down the street, there were other places she could have pulled into right on the same side, not too far from where his body was found, y'all. Okay. So I just wanted to, for those of you who hadn't been following, that's something to think about. Remember, Lulu posted on Facebook, said that they got into it. She stopped and let him out. Then she deleted it and said he jumped out. Exactly, a Mama Magazine. So y'all may be wondering, well, why the change in that? Well, that goes into the whole how it's labeled as far as his autopsy, because you get insurance money when it's considered an accident. Okay, but if it's considered undetermined suicide, homicide, child, look, okay, I just want to put that on out there, because they were saying that this was an accidental death, but there's no proof of that. It doesn't even line up with his autopsy reports, which is why in my mind this whole time I've been thinking that there was a possible cover-up, that people, a couple of people, and then I just peeped something today that I'm going to show y'all on that incident report that stood out to me that I never noticed all of this time before. It wasn't an accident, okay? First she said she didn't see him reach for the door. Then she explained how he reached for the door and acted it out. Make up your mind, Lulu, okay? She's changing it up. It's not consistent. When you're telling the truth, then you just gonna let it flow. She up here trying to piece it together and say the right thing so they don't catch on. But you had to see him fall as he got out the car. That's what the lady is saying. She was waiting for the ambulance. Exactly. Lulu made the detectives look really stupid. Right, Allentown? Okay. Lies, telling all those lies in my my Dr. Dre voice. And why would he walk back to where she parked when the hotel is still in the opposite direction? You better say it. And did he know where she was? See, this is the thing. They're supposed to be in unknown territory, right? Oh, okay. So you mean to tell me he was supposed to walk to an unknown place? He didn't know where you drove to, because it wasn't like you were just driving up to the next little entrance right there at the Burger King on the right. She done drove up some to the left at a whole gas station. See, she was positioning herself at these places where they had camera footage. Okay. But the thing of it is, though, the main camera that they needed, how come it's so ironic that it was recorded over? But all these other cameras, she knows the addresses, she positioning herself. Oh yeah, I went there because she knows they can go and get that footage. But the footage that they need, it's ironically gone. Okay, and welcome. Thank you so much for tapping in, Vicky. She said, I was wondering about this case. Thanks, Open Book, for the report. You're welcome, sis, and thank you for joining.
Point, I start seeing police officers, fire trucks, and then an ambulance headed to that, and then I see them doing a U-turn. I said, oh my God, did something happen with Tyrone? I immediately got nervous at that point, so I zoomed down this road, and then when I see they're in that same area, I do a U-turn, and that's when I'm getting out the car on the stretcher, getting into the truck. And I said, what happened? What happened? This is my boyfriend. Like, I'm here. Like, he jumped out the car when we were arguing, but I didn't know anything happened. Like, did something happen? And the nurse and somebody standing next to her was just like, I found him here on the ground. I think she was like, I seen him fall or something. I can't remember. She said she found him like that or she seen him fall. Okay. But she expressed to me that she was a nurse. And when she seen him, she started rendering aid and called 911. So I'm hearing now that it was a man that called 911. So I'm assuming it was whoever the person was with her while she was rendering an aid. So then I get to the police officer. I'm like, what happened? What happened? I'm just trying to ask them. I'm like, I'm his girlfriend. And they're like,
well, the way she's telling it now is not how she walked up when those cops were right there. Okay. She didn't walk up. Oh my gosh, what happened? No, she did not. She was walking up like she already knew Tyrone was down there, that something bad had happened. Oh, hi. She was calm. She wasn't all emotional like that. Now, for those of you who aren't following, his body was there on the right-hand side of the road. There was this one guy in a car that pulled up. He said this guy was so suspect to me too, child, because at one point he's talking about he saw a trash bag. He thought he saw a trash bag in the road. Another time he said he saw some money flying around in the street, so he pulled over. I'm like, okay, Tyrone had 3 $5 bills that were sticking out of his wallet, a phone, okay, and supposedly a weapon on him too, which I'm still trying to think of where was that weapon on him, because he had on some black sweatpants and the little white beater tee shirts, right? That no jewelry or nothing like that. He usually wears his jewelry and his cap on, the wave caps. So he didn't have that on. And so this guy pulls up. He takes a picture of Tyrone's body there on the road, talking about he was going to keep it in case somebody had a missing loved one. Then he had a picture of it and was going to send it to the family member, which was odd too, because how you know who his family is and why you got a picture of a random man in your phone? That was odd. Then there was a couple that said that they saw the other car pull up. They were coming from Texas Roadhouse. So the girl, she was a nurse, and the guy, I don't know what he does, their boyfriend and girlfriend. So she said she got paper towel, propped his head up. They called 911. She turned him on his side and all of that. And so then that's when the ambulance comes and Lulu pulls up after the ambulance. Why did it take you so long? It was not going to take him, if he was okay, that long to walk down the street to come to the gas station. You waited extra time. It took her like a good 8 or 9 minutes before she decided to get down there. Okay, so that's questionable too. I don't know, Neo. I don't know. It's been alleged that she was given some money after the insurance payments went out, but I don't know how true that is. So now she saw the ambulance did a U-turn. Right. She couldn't have seen all of that, child. Okay. She trying so hard to remember what was said on social media. Because, see, she was paying attention to social media all of those days. So that had her flustered too. So now she goes down to the police station that Wednesday, and now she's like trying to prove that she's innocent. I want to know if they call her or she voluntarily just went there. Okay, because that's questionable too. Lulu makes my head hurt with these lies. Okay. Yep. And the pow was still on him. That is so weird to me because I'm still trying to figure out where was it on him. The witness never said that he found a gun. They only said that they saw a wallet and the phone, okay, on the side of him. So I don't know at what point the weapon entered the picture. I really don't know that. Yeah, she showed no sign of hurt. Yeah. And when we go and y'all, what I can do, I know that the people who have been following this, like we're finally getting to this part of the case. What I will do one day though is those of you who are newer to the case, I could walk us back through some of the other footage with the body cam footage and things like that. So y'all can still see like some of the pictures and so forth. The award goes to Lulu. Now she don't get no award. This is some sorry acting. Okay. Sorry acting skills right here.
Trying to figure out exactly what's going on. So they give me his wallet. So I take his wallet and his phone that he had, and then I follow the ambulance to the hospital.
Yeah.
And that's like a synopsis of our day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in your
And
argument,
let me say this also, y'all. In the body cam footage, they could not get a clear answer from her even that day. Okay. They were pretty much baby feeding her what to say. And they put together a story. That's how we got here with the whole jumping from the vehicle part too. She ran with what the officers were telling her that day. So I guess like the jump out, like they were, doing things like that. Yeah. So she ran with that. They didn't have any proof of that. They didn't even see I didn't even see a box. It was like a slice of pizza on the road. Okay. So these cops there in Gainesville, some of them, they're not too smart either. No, you let the suspect or whoever was last with the person, let them talk. Let them do all the talking. You don't baby feed them info so they can run with that. Because that's pretty much what they did on the scene. They knew what she was saying didn't make sense. You could see it over the cops' faces. And then they sitting there just trying to explain it like, yeah, so, okay. Yeah, the pizza, we see a piece of pizza down here. Okay. So, I mean, he just kind of jumped out of the vehicle. Is that what you're saying? So, I mean, how fast were you going? You weren't going too fast, were you? What? And then she doesn't know nothing. Did she spaz out to the point that you don't even know how fast you were going? Okay, because this other case with the ex-boyfriend, this girl has a history. He lived. The other one did live. Okay, she sure don't get no award. Facts, they never said anything about that pow. Exactly, which is odd. She watched what they wanted to eat up. She kept feeding them based on their reaction. That's true. Okay, glad I could catch you live. Been missing you all. We missed you too, Doc. Thank you so much. Yeah, they were baby feeding her info. And even towards the end of this one, they started baby feeding her some info too. She said she followed the ambulance, but didn't they say she got there an hour or so later? Right. She did not immediately follow the ambulance, y'all. She didn't. No. Even on the body cam footage, her car was still parked there for a little bit. They had already left. So that's a lot too. Okay. That's a lot too. Yeah. She hasn't shown herself recently. I don't know what she looks like now.
In the past, has anything ever got physical between you two?
Yeah, in the past, like, and when we first were got back, because I've met him 10 years ago, so we've been dating off and on, but we've been back at it for like the last 5 years.
Okay.
So initially, in the first part, into the middle too, it became physical, as far as both of us actually, putting our hands on each other. And one time I even got arrested at a hotel for that. It got the case is dismissed. It was in 2000.
Okay.
It was in 2020.
Okay.
So that was something long ago that but I think it was considered under. I don't think it was domestic. I think it was. I forgot what it was.
Dating?
But I don't know what it was. What the charge was or what.
Was it battery though?
No battery. It wasn't battery.
Disorderly?
Disorderly.
Okay.
They did it under disorderly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I probably because when we were going back and forth and fighting with each other, we wasn't in the hotel lobby yet. We ended up in the hotel lobby, and that's when
It
they
became disruptive.
Okay.
that's when it came the disruptiveness of
Okay,
it.
that makes sense. Okay.
And that particular, what you mean that makes sense? Stop. The girl crazy. Okay, this police officer, she was getting on my nerves at this part too. But in that incident, although the case was dropped, and Tyrone probably didn't just want her to get in trouble, you know, they went and bailed her out of jail. But I'm hearing that allegedly she had some scissors trying to come after. Like, y'all, if there's a situation, and I really, the warning signs that he was getting, I really wish he would have left this girl alone. Like, she clearly has, based off of her history, times where she spazzes out, she loses it seems like, you know, and goes after people, you know, reckless with cars and all of that. So get out. The first sign of trouble, if you see a person has a pattern, their behavior is erratic, don't try to love it out of them, because you may no longer be here. It may be a time where it does go too far, and this went too far. It went too far. And I just really wish, based off of now she's walking us through some of these incidents, you know, there were warning signs. It was toxic. You know, now she's saying they had domestic violence. You know, I don't know, you know, I can't prove whether Tyrone ever hit her or anything like that, you know, but either way, if y'all are saying something's toxic and it's dangerous, get out. Okay. Nope, they got played. Make you wonder about the training the detectives got. It wasn't top-notch training. Ray Charles can see and hear the lies. Exactly. Life said, I felt like they knew her. It was like, okay, tell your side, but we have to ask questions. Right. Hey, Key loves me. I noticed that when people are guilty, they tend to over-explain and provide far too many unnecessary details to cover their tracks. Yes. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. It is for free. If you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, Cash App, or buy coffee. And that's on the screen or in the chat. Yes, and Lulu had another boyfriend. No, he didn't die though. No, he didn't die. He was in critical condition. He said he forgot what happened leading up to that. I bet she doesn't look good for all these lies. It's eating her alive. Right. All right, let's continue.
Yeah.
I guess were you guys denying that you had like put hands on each other? Because I
don't
wonder why
even
they
know-
would
I
have
don't-
opted
I don't-
to take you on that charge versus.
I don't know because I don't even know if he shared that with them. And me and him have a habit of protecting each other. So sometimes when you're in certain situations, there's only so much you can say, but we'll choose to go that lighter route. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he just didn't tell them that we were in there fighting, because it was so long ago, so I wouldn't say we were just actually but it might have been a grab or a push or something like that.
And they may not have been able to prove it anyways.
Yeah.
But like, so they may have just gone with the lesser.
Yeah.
Decided to take
You
you
all
on.
separated for the night.
Exactly, and then call it a day. Yeah, because he was the one who picked me back up from jail. So, and we went back to the same hotel. So it's like just young, stupid stuff, you know, growing pains in relationships sometimes.
Can you describe like Tyrone, the kind of person?
He's amazing. He has the biggest heart. He's so selfless. Like, you know, he's like a ball of joy. He loves recording. He actually is a YouTuber, and he's big on Instagram and stuff like that. So he loves to record. He loves to just be out and about. Like, we're complete opposites, because he's like the outgoing one and I'm more of the introvert compared to us. I can be outgoing, but it's more of like I'm typically more reserved. But he has a beautiful smile. He's always willing to help. If we pass by someone in the car and they're pushing a car, he'll get out to see if they need help. Like, he's just amazing. Like, he's literally an amazing person. We were just celebrating for the tiny cabin for Christmas. He surprised me because I was in the cabin cooking shrimp and grits because that's his favorite meal. When he came out, he surprised me. He put "I love you, Lou" on the cabin with sticky notes. So we give those type of gestures of love to each other. Like, we're both like very, like, we do big gestures when we give gifts and stuff like that. Like, when I flew him out for his first time out of the country. No, actually, this was his second time in the country. It was his birthday. I printed out like the plane ticket, And I brought it to Cheesecake Factory earlier, the sombreros, and I told them when we order drinks, if you can bring out the sombreros, and I'm gonna hand him the plane ticket and tell him we're going to Mexico. So it's just like we did that. We had that type of relationship with each other. It's like
yes, he did cook during that time.
just super fun, super fun. We had our moments because it just was hard and it was long distance. We never had that time together to just be together every day, like as a live-in situation. He actually was coming home off the road this year in March so that we can officially buy our house and get married and start having kids. That was our plan.
So do you think that the distance didn't help in the sense of like you guys would jump into maybe more heated arguments faster because you didn't have the time to build on how to interact with each other?
I think so.
Like I mean, that's just an assumption. I
think so because we did great on the phone and we were used to if we have arguments on the phone, it's easy to hang up. So it was like our thing to where it's like, why would you hang up on me? So that was our biggest thing. And it's like things can only go so big on the phone, you know? And I feel like honestly, just a part of us just trying to build as partners and just as we're growing too, because we're young, you know, still kind of getting older. Like us problem solving in heated situations was our problem as far as communicating, like because both of us, like he's more impulsive than me, but it's like we would get so mad to where it was just like just yelling and it's not coming to a common ground. So I do think distance played a role in that because we couldn't find our own rhythm of what is the best way to communicate through issues in person.
Right. Oh, sorry about that. All right. I don't want to separate and touch. You have any?
Did he drink it all?
Yeah, we both drank.
Okay, both drink. Do you know if he was drinking it all Saturday?
We drank earlier that day.
Okay. About what time?
I think we started. It probably sounds bad. We had like a drink at like 9 or 10.
We don't care. We don't care.
Yeah, but then we ran out. We ran out of Hennessy, so or whatnot.
Okay. Do you know how many drinks he'd had?
I think we only had like one. We made a cup. We made it with Red Bull, so we just.
So they had Hennessy and Red Bull allegedly about 9 or 10 that morning. Now, would that mean that y'all were relaxed, or that mean that this will cause all of this arguing? Okay, because how did we get here? If y'all sipping on Red Bull and hen, okay, child, how did y'all get to all of the heat throwing, the router, y'all arguing, y'all leave, you drop him off at the hotel, okay, y'all arguing some more, and then he eventually jumps from a moving vehicle? Like, how did we get here though? Okay, and then is she supposed to be drinking like that too? Because see, they should have checked her alcohol level that day as well. And then I'm hearing allegedly she's supposed to be on some pills. I don't know how true that is. Some stuff you can't mix. Okay, so those types of things are things to consider. She loved how he treated her like a queen. Yes, she loved what he could do for her. But y'all, in some videos, you can tell she was not into Dro like that. He looked more into her than she was into him. I saw a whole video. She walked, he was like bending down for a kiss. She walked right by him like and kept going, and he played it off in the video. You know, he didn't want to be embarrassed. But that's the vibe that she gave even before I knew any of this. I was like, I don't think she really liked him like that. And which is so sad because he was such a nice young man. Problem solving was just walk away from it, right? Lulu talking like she has 3 lungs. Lord, that girl can talk. She talking too much. See, I know why they lock her up, because she telling so many stories about violence. 2 wrongs don't make it right. Obi, did they go back to the liquor store while getting pizza? I don't think so. I haven't heard about a liquor store. I hadn't heard about that.
Had a cup each while we was watching, because we brought a projector to the cabin, so we was watching movies at that time when we was having our drink.
Okay.
And to my knowledge, he only had one, so I don't think he had like a lot. Yeah.
And watching movies.
Was he a drug user at all?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. When he fell out of the car, did you see him in the rearview mirror and the side mirror or anything?
No, like it's like I saw him, like, you know how you like you see, because I'm still driving at that point, so you see him get out of the car. So in my peripheral, I could have sworn I saw him standing up when he got out, but I can't confirm that because when he got out, I kept going, so I have no idea like where his position was when he got out.
Okay.
How you don't see somebody, you don't know if they're standing up or hit the ground. How you that far gone? Okay, so I'm not even buying that. Lady Janice, girl, I felt like, and I'm still kind of feeling like y'all and Jason, the one she's referring to, is one of Dro's friends. Dro had a bottle of Hennessy for his friend that he had put on, a video. They were calling him. He wasn't answering, right? So then when all this came out, there were some text message threads that came out, but to me, it looked like some messages were missing, okay, from between Dro and Jason. And he also needs another alibi because he tried to pretend like he was at a car show, but the video he shared was from another year. So we still don't know where Jason was. Jason's also friends with Lulu, okay, as well. Jason was like Dro's right-hand man. Okay, so I feel like he knows something, and some people have also wondered, was he there during that weekend? Because where was he? So the little video that he put out, we've already debunked that. You weren't at that car show because that was another year. So we're still questioning. Him and Lulu even went out to a birthday dinner together. Okay, his involvement. So yes, that's how I feel. I feel like he knows something. She definitely wasn't into him like he was into her, right? Shelly said lock her up. I wonder if they checked into that T-Mobile thing. Maybe she was not at T-Mobile for 2 hours and he hungry. He passed the pizza place to go get him to come back to the pizza place. She could have, you know what? My thing is this. She could have called him or he could have called her, and we don't know if he did or not, and asked, can you bring me something to eat on your way back? Why did you have to go all the way back to the hotel, get Dro, and then y'all go and get pizza? Was the pizza his idea or hers? Was that a way for her to get him out there? Okay, because Dro, he looked like the finer things, like he was cooking even at the cabin and so forth. Take her on all these expensive trips, restaurants. Why they didn't go to a restaurant? They had been driving all that time. So little things like that I also peep and look into as well. Whose idea was it to get that pizza from that place? Because she made sure she knew that address too. Okay, does she know the area or did someone else know that area? I see right through Lulu. She isn't fooling the authorities. She's only fooling herself. Okay. Salute. Thank you so much, Ms. Hartfield, for joining. T2, rest in peace. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yep. And I'm with you. I feel like Jason is suspect too. Me too. Okay. He could have called her, but we don't know. We don't know. Some messages. She was deleting messages, y'all, in the beginning.
I know everything happened real quick. Do you remember exactly what part of the U-turn? Like, was it during the middle of the U-turn when
I think I had already made the U-turn.
I
think I had already was facing that full direction. I think so.
Okay.
Or towards that direction on Archer to head back to the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it was after you got fully turned around okay.
Exactly. We literally were just, I think we just kind of finished that U-turn. So we wasn't in the intersection, but we were like in that lane.
So finish the U-turn, but you're almost about straightened out. Is
Exactly.
that right?
I think I would say I was either fully straightened out or just about straightened out. Yeah.
Do you know if he had a seatbelt on or does he usually wear a seatbelt?
No, he didn't have a seatbelt on.
Oh, she knew that part. And let me tell y'all, Willie, the ex-boyfriend, the other one, he didn't have his on either. But I bet you that day, that day she had hers on, and I bet you the day with Tyrone she had hers on too. She know when these men not wearing these seatbelts too.
Only because, not that I could say because I didn't see it, but we typically are not always the best with that. Like, and he was in the passenger side, so I was going to bet he didn't have one on.
Okay.
Did the door stay open?
No, it ended up closing back. Yeah, it ended up closing back. Because when I didn't do anything different when I got to the gas station. and it wasn't like a light or saying that, you know, your car will tell you if a door is open.
Yeah.
So it ended up closing back fine. Hence I guess in my mind, he closed it. Like everything happened so fast that I would assume, I think it was safe for me to assume, like in hindsight now, that he closed it because I didn't have to get out the car to close the door.
Well, another thing I can think of, just thinking out loud, that
And the car alerts her when the door is about to open. How did the door just close on its own like that? She didn't have to think about it, but don't know how he got out. Exactly. But then she don't even remember if she saw him standing or on the ground. At this point, they're going to get them involved. She doesn't lie well at all. Right, Shelly? Girl, I could see right through all of this. When I was watching it that day, I was so mad. Yes, she drove off, talking about she didn't want to get hit by the other cars, but you want him to get hit? Girl, that's what they make hazards for. And you were coming out of a U-turn, so you weren't going that fast. And right there at that intersection, y'all, it's a light too. Okay, yes, I believe she took off really fast, so it could have been the wind from the, her just jerking off really fast could have helped close the door. But you would have known if you slowed to a stop enough for Tyrone to get out and close that door. Okay, you're going to know that. So why are you acting like, oh, I can't remember, I don't know?
maybe if you went ahead and started to escalate, or like not escalate, but what is the right one?
Accelerate.
Accelerate.
No, it's
I have a long day. Accelerate that maybe could have helped.
Possibly.
And then if you're in the, I'm just.
Yes, a lot of factors that could have did it.
I mean,
yeah.
I would imagine your speed did increase because you're on the roadway and then you were driving to the gas station.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
fair to say?
Yeah, and when I initially was driving, I didn't know where my endpoint was going to be because I'm not familiar with the area. I just didn't want to go too far to where he's walking too far. But like coming down, I didn't really see too many places like that I could really stop and just park and sit.
Right.
And the best spot that in that moment that I found was that gas station.
Right. Do you know how fast you may have been going once you got out the car?
No, I would just regular speed is not really answered, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you weren't like hauling butt.
No.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Okay. Do you think if you were more familiar with the area, you would have looked back more to see what came of him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to think, like, I'm just saying, if I were in your shoes and this is just someone, I can easily say this because I wasn't in your shoes,
Yeah.
but I would think instinct would be look back, like look in my side view mirror. Like I would feel compelled maybe to do that just because someone just got out of my car and I was moving. But that's just, again, I'm saying that right now. I'm just trying to get what your thought process was.
I don't think it was the area. I think it's just knowing us and knowing that he'll get out the car, And like I said, it's not something that it was happening during arguments, but it's not, I guess it's that confidence in both hints to him too, that I thought he probably thought like he had it or that he can get out fine. So
Right.
if I'm being honest, no, I don't think it was the area. I think it's just a knowing of just how the person is,
Yeah.
It sounds terrible probably, but
But she had already said that he's never done this while she's been driving before. Okay, so this was new. So you didn't pull over right then like, Dro, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been my first reaction. If I know I'm not on a full stop, okay, let's think about a reasonable person in this case, right? And you are turning out of the U-turn. Now, remember, you got all kind of little gadgets on the dashboard that's going to tell you when your door opens, right? And the door coming open, you making a U-turn, and then drove with pizza and wings is in the car one moment and out of the car the next moment, and you didn't see or know this was about to happen. My first reaction would have quickly stopped, pull over something and see, oh my God, babe, what is wrong? Are you okay? But you just gonna say you drove down all the way to a whole other light, make a left turn, you just sitting there. You just sitting. Oh, I guess he'll make it here sooner or later. What? And you pass by 2 driveways. In the area where his body was found, y'all, it's a biking lane over there too. So you can still get out of the road. The guy who saw Dro laying in the street, he pulled over. You put your hazards on. I would just leave him in the middle of the street. Okay, like that does not make sense. Right, right. When you're enraged. Come on now. You not. Okay. She probably just saw red and just kept going. Exactly. That's what everybody who drive, we constantly look behind us. Right. You just getting over in other lanes. You don't check your blind spot or nothing. Hey, Angel, welcome, sis. I truly believe in that homeless lady's story. Me too. Cakes bless. Some stuff she said, some of that I believe too. He wouldn't have gotten out in the first place. Right. She talking fast, but I'm keeping up, and I'm keeping up with these lies too.
Like,
We're not here to judge.
I didn't think to look back, and I regret that, because this could have been, completely, I couldn't change anything, but at least I could have been aware of what was going on, and I could have stopped sooner, instead of, the seeing all the ambulance and stuff like that,
Right.
prompting that for me to go down.
Did this cross your mind before I asked about it?
What specifically, if I would have looked back? Yeah.
It did?
Yeah.
As you've been thinking
Yeah,
everything
it's
over?
just like, why didn't I why didn't I notice something happened to him? Just like, I feel like I have been holding so much guilt of just not being able to explain what specifically happened with him, and he was with me.
Do you remember the specific detail about anything that pushed him to the limit to jump out of the car?
The only thing, he probably, like, Tyrone hated to argue, so he just would get very aggravated, just the sense of us arguing. So, but I mean, I don't think it's any specific detail, because like I said, I know, of us bringing up the topic of him discussing, what he found in his daughter. That is enough emotion. We just had a great vacation, and I'm arguing with my girl about her telling me that she doesn't feel like her needs is being met out there. Like, I'm just, in hindsight, I'm just like, it's a lot of things that could have frustrated him to really just like get angry.
Now, prior to this, for those of you who may not know this info, before they went to the cabin, allegedly one of Dro's like friends who he considers a cousin, very close to him, said that there was a situation where Dro had someone, I guess he used to talk to, blocked, but he had unblocked her. And Lulu must have saw it, and Dro said that he had unblocked her to tell her something or something. I don't know what went on with that situation, but there was some type of argument about that on their way to the cabin. But then his cousin brother said that he thought everything was good, being that Dro went live and, showed the cabin and how he had decorated and all of that. So I'm wondering, was she still on demon time this whole trip because of her feelings about that situation, and that she really hadn't gotten over that. Okay. So I don't know if it was a argument about potential cheating or something to the effect of somebody got unblocked and she must have found out. So I don't know. I don't want to say it as fact that that's what happened, but all I know is the cousin did tell, this was during the Gilchrist County police report. And he was on a recording saying, that had gone down between them, but he thought things were gravy, and okay now once they got to the cabin. So I don't know if she was still talking about this, because the thing she's saying now about him talking about his daughter and so forth, y'all, why would he be mad at her? That's why it's not making sense. It's like, to me, she's describing what she was doing, but putting it on Dro, projecting that onto him. We don't have his side of the story. Okay, we don't have his side. So it could have been her bringing up all of this stuff and escalating this, and for a reason. Okay, to get it to this point. Oh yeah, we were arguing. Yeah, she's saying she called his mama, and she called the dad, but I guess the dad wasn't answering. More people involved, not just Lulu. I believe that. Okay. Hey, Cherry. Where did he jump out of the car? Well, it was on side of the road on Archer, near Archer Road there in Gainesville. For those of you who have been following, we kind of looked at the I have a video out there too that shows the scene right there. It's by a bridge. And on the right side, y'all, there's a wide little bicycle lane. But then right when you get under the bridge, kind of closer to that area, it kind of goes a little narrow right there with some little guardrails. So I believe it goes down to like a 2-3 lane right there. I'm trying to picture it in my mind, but it was right there on the side. So when the guy that stopped, he said he saw him in the right hand lane though. So when the couple came, they kind of moved his body over more to the right a little so that he wouldn't be all up in the street, in the right lane. Cause she lied and most likely she was the one angry. That's what I'm thinking. I think she was jealous. I think she was. She remembers everything but what happened to Joe. Thank you. Come on now. Okay, I believe she was mad and she kept escalating, but she's telling it from the viewpoint of Dro. If y'all pay attention to that, I think she's telling it like it's from his mind and what his actions were. But in my mind, I'm thinking this is her actions and she's just trying to put it onto him.
Had he ever like said that he was suicidal or anything like that?
No, and like the police officer, when she had told me she was talking and she was considering Baker to act in him, I was like, no, like he is not suicidal at all. Like it's been times in the past with me, like when I was going through my accident years ago, I told y'all about that I wanted to die, you know, and it was just so hard for me, you know, and stuff like that. But he never talks like that. He never talks like that.
Right. It doesn't make
Do you
sense.
still have his cell phone?
Yeah, I got his cell phones, his mom, and then his mom has like his ID and stuff. I'm just holding on to the stuff right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know the EMS, the ambulance, said they found a gun on him inside the ambulance.
Makes sense because he had already had a gun. And mind you, I'm glad you said that because I have been looking. I hadn't had a chance to go through all of our stuff because we just came from the cabin. If you guys see my car, you might have seen it. It's fully packed in the back. But I had bought him a gun, a brand new gun for Christmas. So that is still in the case. But I have not been able to find his other gun. And I haven't seen it. I went that hotel that we were at before the incident happened. I looked all around. I'm like, where's his gun? Maybe he has it packed up somewhere. And I just was like, you know what? As long as it's not out in the open, because I would hate something to happen, you know, just anything to happen. So I was like,
girl, stop. Okay, Lulu, stop. Now, you mean to tell me Dro was at that hospital, okay? And you have been visiting at that hospital and no one gave you a gun or mentioned a gun there at the hospital? I mean, when you go there and you're not alert, or, you know, he also, y'all, was brought in under a trauma name. He was in the trauma part of the hospital because of how he was laying out on the road. There was no one really there. So they didn't know if, you know, it was a suspicious death, right? And so they took him under a trauma name. Now, that means that they're going to, you know, because he's not awake during that time, they put their stuff in hospital bags and all of that. So you trying to pretend like at this point you didn't know about a missing gun, and you talking about, oh, I went and I was looking at the hotel for the gun and I'm wondering where was the gun. And then it was a weird gift that she gave him too, because she gave him a whole new gun while they were on vacation. So if he already had one, I mean, what was the point of giving that one? And then you're acting oblivious to the fact that, oh, well, there it is. Girl, stop. Okay, she definitely has mental disorders. Yeah. Just check out her behavior. Y'all, if you watch this and her behaviors, you'll see her. And this is no joke. I can't diagnose her. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. But real time, I literally saw her going in and out of personalities. And I joked about that at first, you know, when we were talking about how she looks on these different pictures. And I said, the Lulu with the glasses that we see in the videos with Dro, that's one Lulu right there, okay? But the one with the makeup without the glasses is another Lulu. And I think in these accidents, that other personality, that probably Kiara, that's the one that's dangerous, okay? That's the one that spazzes out. And she may or may not remember it, y'all. I'm just being honest. We literally can say, see her and say, that girl knows she lying. She probably, but does she really? In my mind, after seeing her go from one personality to another, I'm like, this is weird. Like, there was a movie about that a long time ago with this guy, and he didn't realize that was what was happening to him. He had a personality that was overtaking him. And so eventually he found out when he went to a therapist that he had multiple personality disorder, and it would come in and protect him on certain things because he had gotten hurt and had this trauma and blah, 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 right? And so I don't know. It's just so weird. She know they ruled it suicide, so she's trying to go portray that scene. Yeah, see, that's the thing. When you say somebody is jumped out of a moving vehicle, to me, you're insinuating that that's suicide, right? But she's careful about that and not wanting to call it that, because then for suicide, you don't get insurance money. Okay, if we're going to say, oh, he just jumped. Well, then what are you trying to say? What are you trying to put out there when you say that this man just jumped out of a moving vehicle? Wait, when and why? We don't see video when she told them about the other accident. Exactly. But I think she's going to wait for her to bring up that part on here, because I think she mentions it, but she doesn't talk about the ex-boyfriend being in the vehicle. Hey, Black Butterfly, welcome. He was a motivational speaker, yes, on his channel, so it doesn't make sense he would jump out of a moving car. It's still Lulu, okay? Talking about sex, HGY. Wait, she just said she went back to the hotel before the incident happened. I don't want to say for sure, but I think she was talking about after he was in the hospital looking for it, because she knew about it. Because she only went to the hotel after the fact. Remember, she had been gone by the time they checked in. She had left, went to T-Mobile, came back, got drove, went back out, and then unless she went back to the hotel when he was at the hospital that night, because that all happened on the same day. So she may have gone back that night to look for it, but she said before, oh, stop lying, Lulu, this is sickening. Strange they never talked about all of his phones. Right, exactly. Stop lying, Lulu. I pray the truth comes out to the light, because his injury was severe. Exactly. Yeah, okay. Now, why would you jump out and you got a piece on you? Now, that's a good point. Okay, that's a good point. She's definitely in and out of personalities. It took her, what, 3 to 4 hours to get to the hospital? It was about 1 hour. Yeah, Sybil. But it was another one with this other guy, and I had the name of it, y'all, but it's been a while since I talked about that. But it's a whole movie with this man, and he even had one of his personalities was a little boy. One of them was a female woman. He had like 5 of them. I was like, golly.
Like, let me find it, but I'm like, okay, I checked everywhere where he'll usually put it under, where, like, 'cause you know some spots where they put stuff. I checked around and I didn't find it, so that makes plenty of sense. He had it in with him
On his person.
Yeah, on his person.
Okay.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me because he always carries it. So
Okay, good.
And because the gift was new, it was still in the case, so it makes more sense for him to have that. Okay. And I haven't, just as a heads up, I haven't checked the case with the new gun that he gave me, but I'm pretty sure it's in there, because when he was mad at me, he was like, he don't want the gun no more. So we had put it in, like, he had gave me the case anyway, and I put it in the car. Okay. And with all that stuff in there, I don't think he went back in it and grabbed it out in that short period of time. So it should be his other gun that he had. Okay.
As far as y'all's arguments, when was the last time y'all got physical?
Last time that we got physical, I don't remember.
Don't remember?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. If further in, if I do, I'll share it with you, but I don't remember.
Would you say you both were pretty equally upset at each other?
I would say so. And I think it was just more, but probably maybe for different reasons or whatnot. Because it's like I said, I know for a fact with him, he hates arguing. So he was getting aggravated with that. And me, I hate when people cut me off, especially when we're arguing. So that's going to make me more mad too. Yeah. So I can't say, the difference of it, but I know we both was mad, like really mad.
So I can tell you, just from my own relationships, and from my friends and just, I mean, the word, I think it's like the trigger word lately is
Yeah.
like toxic, right? Toxic relationships, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Would you define your relationship? I mean, I know you talk about you guys having this fantastic, amazing time, and I'm not saying it wasn't the case,
Yeah.
but we have highs and in these toxic relationships, right? We have the highs and then we have the lows.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And that's what makes it toxic.
Exactly.
Is there's no like stability. It's just like
No, I don't think. Which ex-boyfriend are you talking about, Miss Hartfield? I don't think that her ex-boyfriend was there. Hopefully, this case can get reopened. Yes, it is what it is. After seeing this, I really hope the family just really stays on it with these detectives, that police department, because y'all, we can clearly see that something was off and something tragic happened to Tyrone Davis, and it wasn't him jumping out of no doggone vehicle. Okay. You remember all these other stuff, but you don't remember the last time y'all got physical with each other. Okay. It sounds like the Twilight Zone. Yeah, she definitely has anger issues. Yes. Hey, MJ, welcome. I've been listening, multitasking. She pushed him out of the car, period. Those detectives know, but they don't have enough proof. Uh-huh. Yep, that's true too. And the proof they need, it was recorded over. Okay. First, she said she didn't have a job. Then she said she worked part-time for Marriott. The lies, the lies. But I want y'all to peep the Marriott part for a reason. I want y'all to keep that in mind about the Marriott part. Hey, hello, Barbara. Welcome, sis. Thank you for joining.
it's always like this.
Yeah.
Would you define your relationship to be like that, or how would you describe it? I know you say, I mean, everyone fights, everyone argues,
Yeah.
right? But again, it's just kind of like those high and lows. Like, how high are we going? How low are we going? I mean, to the point of getting physical, I would say it sounds to me that there could have been a potential it was toxic.
Yeah, I was toxic in the beginning for sure.
Okay.
But I feel like we kind of toned down as the relationship grew to not be, I wouldn't consider it toxic
Okay.
at this point. I do feel like at moments of when we disagreed, it could be toxic, but even when we're in person, to that being like our weaker point, not every time was just irate yelling and stuff like that. We had gotten to the point to where sometimes it was hard, but a lot of times it wasn't. And I think it was kind of primarily the topic of what the disagreement or what it was about. If it was kind of like a repeated thing, or if it was something really emotionally connected, I feel like kind of like that would depend on, because I know like he always would tell me how much he would try to make me happy, and I believe that, but anytime I would share dissatisfaction, like it would frustrate him, because it's like, I'm trying, I'm doing all these things for you, I've never done this for anybody else, and it's just like, you still not happy type of situation.
Okay.
So I feel like in those type of conversations that would make him angrier quicker, because I guess he used to feel like unappreciated, or
I guess what needs was he not meeting? I mean, we're gonna get to the nitty gritty of it. I mean, it's gonna get personal, but we need to know.
Yes, it is what it is. They do. Those cabins, Marriott, yep, Fairfield Inn, where they checked into, yep, I want y'all to peep it. I'm glad you said that. I hear more toxic in the relationship than love, really, based off of her. So she has connections to the hotel. Come on now, Angel. Okay, clock of detectives. Did y'all peep when they asked her why didn't she even look back after he jumped out? They were surprised by that. Yes, and that lady did take a note of that, because she's gonna bring that back up. I really think she sounds like Cece. That's what people were saying. I thought so too during that time.
But like the needs that he wasn't meeting was he wasn't. I feel like, how can I describe it? I felt like since we have to get personal, what we were arguing about was sex. The morning of the night before, out of nowhere, I just started feeling sick. And it was funny because the night before he had a hungover, so it's like we hadn't been intimate. So I think by that time he was like, I need some or whatnot. He was more impatient with the situation. So he was like trying to, he was like suggesting like, oh, do this, during commercials for sex, do this and stuff like that. And I'm like, baby, I'm still kind of trying to feel a little bit better. So like, let's just vibe and watch a movie and let me just feel better. So at that point, that was before we started drinking. So then we started drinking and stuff like that or whatnot. And I at that point I am feeling better. So then he asks me something else. I think he tries to do something or sex. I'm like, no, baby, let's just chill. Like, let's still keep watching a movie. And that's what got everything left. Cause he's like, you feeling better? Like, I've been wanting you. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are you not trying to have sex with me? Everyone, like, so maybe needs isn't the right word, but me, I just told you I want to chill. I just went from not feeling good to where I'm not just horny and ready and wet and ready to have sex. You get what I'm saying?
I think too, if that was the case with that whole ex, with him, I don't know if they were dating or whoever this girl situation was that he could have possibly unblocked and they got into it before the trip. It could have been some of that, oh, I'm gonna withhold sex type of thing. Okay. And then when he wanted to, she didn't want to. Then when she wanted to, he like, well, since you and your feelings, you didn't give me none, then hey, I don't feel like it either. It could have been some of that, so was she withholding and he getting upset? Like, look, we on this trip. I'm trying to do this, and this. And then also on one of the videos to Facebook Live towards the end of it, he was saying that she was on punishment. He did bring that up like a little joke, saying that she was on punishment during that Facebook Live. So that showed that there was something. There was some type of argument prior leading into this trip. But did she ever let it go? Okay, did they ever move on? Because she's going in and out of the story. At one point, y'all drinking, watching movies, but then you talking about y'all arguing mainly the rest of the time. Okay, so that's just something that came to me as well when she brought that part up. We're doing this tit for tat on sex. Okay, now I don't know how true that is. That's just my theory on that part.
And that was the issue, and that's something. So it kind of continued to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna keep begging you for what I need, even though he's not doing that. And I'm consistent is saying that in that moment, like, why do I have to feel like I'm begging, or why can't you just touch me if that's what I want? And I'm like, like, I don't see sex like that's physical touch is not my love language. So it's like me not feeling my best. I just want to lay with you and lay on your chest and hold your hand. And when I'm feeling better and I'm feeling more, my vibe, then, I can give you everything you need. But he didn't really have any understanding for that. And that's something me and him don't see eye to eye on, that only because our love languages are different. So, yeah.
I mean, that's a big one.
It is.
It can carry on all day.
It is.
Right? Because if you went away, right? You have this expectation. I mean, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
At least he did, possibly. Yeah. And then when he, that wasn't being met, it can carry on all.
Because it literally, from the first day, we were both tired. But I'm usually the one to fall asleep. He fell asleep first. So it didn't have no sex. Right. Then we build into the next day where it's Christmas. We kind of doing our stuff for each other. And then because of what we're doing, we are not on sex yet. By the time that night gets there, he's feeling hungover or sick. So no sex again. Right. And then you bring it to the next day. So it's like by that time, and then I guess that next night, then I'm not feeling good. Yeah. So it's like he's constantly yearning for that desire, because he would tell me, he's just like, baby, like, I know you don't see sex as the same thing, but that's how I feel connected to you. Yeah. So on top of him feeling like being a man, having to have sex, that's how he needs to connect with me. And I think it was that, I feel like that was kind of more brewed up to frustration to kind of make the arguments we having even bigger. Right. And then I have this thing with him to where I'm like, you don't have to feel connected with me with sex. It's just like, you should just feel connected with me with us laying or just being together. It's like, don't make me feel like it's just sex. And, so we both having our moments of us going back and forth with that. Right. So that was what caused the all day argument.
That makes sense to me. So that started out over there in Gilchrist.
Yes, it started in Gilchrist. And like I said, because we didn't have the extra day, we went over to the next, because we wasn't ready. It's like us arguing and stuff, but we still wasn't ready, because we could have went back to Orlando, but we still just wanted to go ahead and still, keep the vacation going. Okay. So that's why we booked the hotel and we went to Gainesville.
Okay. What would your families say about your relationship? If we were to ask his family, your family, what would the impression be of the relationship?
So my mom's side would have, like, my family would have nothing but good things to say. They're like, he's so loving, he's so attentive to my daughter or my niece or whoever. I love how, they're always smiling and how they're happy. But for him, if you ask his mom's side, they would say the same thing. But if you ask his dad's side, especially after this happened, they would say, oh, they were fighting. This is what happened. The situation I told you where I got arrested, they'll bring that up because they already started doing it. So
Tell me about that.
So as telling you which part about the arrested or telling them about them?
I'm gonna ask to tell me about what's kind of been the narrative right now since he's passed.
So the narrative right now is that I killed him. That's the narrative, and that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, because now it has me uncomfortable for my own safety, because it's almost like I feel like they're putting a bullet or trigger a target on my back or whatnot. They are expressing that I killed him. They are insinuating that I hit him with a Hennessy bottle possibly and pushed him out the car while he was unconscious. I don't know if it was his family specifically, but the internet is going crazy right now.
Right.
The internet is going very crazy right now, and they have came up with so many accusations. But I do know for a fact.
Well, Tyrone's father's sister, oh boy, came out with a Facebook Live after all of this happened, explaining what took place with her nephew. And she brought up Lulu, the girlfriend who was last with him, and was, saying different things about what could have possibly happened. So that's what she's referring to. And that's what brought in a lot of people on this case, because people are like, how did they go from this cabin situation, they looked all in love, to now she's saying that the man jumped from a moving vehicle? Like, the story did not add up. And so best believe content creators were on it and talking about it. So she talking about us and others, okay? There were a lot of people covering this case. And so she knew we had peeped the play. So now she's trying to act like, let me go in here and tell them, with all of this, so people don't think that I actually did do that. Okay, she wasn't physically attracted to him anymore. And that was the frustration along with the problem. That's a good point. People have to know when to walk away. Exactly. You should have stopped dating him if the love connection wasn't there. Right. Because he knew he wanted more, y'all. Okay. He wanted more. He wanted to start a family with her. He wanted to retire, according to her, from truck driving, build this life with her. And then I can say during his videos, he did mention his kids, Lulu, a lot. Okay, as far as where his thought process was and wanted to take care of his family. So he was a truck driver, yes. I just feel like with her, though, it wasn't on the same accord. Like, I think it was more so what he did for her and the idea of it, if that makes sense. But her being physically attracted to him and into him like that, it showed all over her face. Even when she would kiss him sometimes, like, you could just sense that she wasn't feeling him like that. So no. Y'all, okay, what's the guy off of Harry and the Hendersons? That's what I'm trying to get G Coco to think about. The YT man. That's the one that was in the Personality movie that I can't think of. And it's a really good movie. And I brought this up before. I don't know if it was because we were talking about Bree, the former Mrs. LaTruth, or if we were talking about Lulu. And I brought the movie up because he had split personalities. So that's the movie that I'm trying to find. Let's see here. It's still Lulu. I feel she was trying to keep him so no one else could be with him. And that part too. Okay. Hey, Black Butterfly. Have I spoken? Welcome.
That his aunts have expressed, and cousins or whoever, that I know I've heard the video of her giving the accusation of maybe she hit him with a Hennessy bottle and pushed him out the car when he was unconscious. And it's just like, the whole narratives of what everybody's saying is insane. And it's like, because and I left him for dead. And it's just like, I didn't know anything happened. I literally just took it as, we're giving each other for space, things that we wouldn't naturally do or whatnot. And something, it's almost like a freak accident. It happened so quickly whatever happened. You know what I'm saying? To where whether he fell or whatnot. Because I was even asking the nurses, and I was like, does it look like he got ran over just based off his stuff? Like I'm like trying to put the pieces together because I don't know. But yeah, they have a lot of accusations, and part of their frustration is initially that they weren't called. So when everything first happened, I didn't call either one of his parents because, like I said, I won't get into it. We keep everything between us, so we don't really say nothing, especially because it happened right after argument. So that's something we would typically keep to ourselves. And because when I got to the hospital, I guess he wasn't entered yet, so I couldn't even see him or figure out like even where to sit and wait for him. So I was just sitting in the hospital for hours or whatnot. And it wasn't until I made it to found out he was in trauma, under a trauma name. So I made it to that department, and I went to the holding area for the trauma area, and that's when they asked for his parents' information. Like they asked if he had like they asked about our relationship. I said, well, I'm his girlfriend. They asked if we're married. I said no, I'm his girlfriend. So they started asking me like how old his children were because they were looking for the next kin, and I was like, they're underage. They're what I said, 7 and 13. I think I mixed up the numbers when I told them, but anyways, the minors. So then they asked for their parents. So I gave them his mom phone number and I gave them the dad's phone number. But the dad's phone number I had was off, like it was the wrong number because his dad, he always has new phones. His phones are always off and he always gets new numbers. So I just didn't have the current number.
Oh my gosh. It's called Raising Cain, y'all, with John Lithgow. Yes, this is a split personality movie, and it's really good. If y'all get a chance, tap into it. That was bothering me. I said, I got to look that up. You best believe they're picking up on behavior. Oh, yeah, they're listening right now. Because this lady, she is going to come with it, though. I got to give that to her. She's eventually going to come with it. It goes on like this roller coaster. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, I think we done took a turn. I think she was holding on to the things in the past that she couldn't let go. That's a good point. She didn't know for hours that he was in the trauma unit. Strange. Right. That's weird. He's unconscious and you don't call his family regardless. You saw him get into the ambulance. Yeah, she called the mama. Oh, okay. She made sure she called his mama. Now she said she didn't have his dad's new number. However, I'm surprised because she brought up his kids. How come she didn't call his kids' mother? You see what I'm saying? Because she had Tyrone's phone. So why didn't she call at least the mother of his children then? Okay, come on now. Lulu knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah. So they were upset that Miss Renee knew what happened after the hospital called her and her calling me to see like, is everything okay? Like, and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, we got into an argument or whatnot, got out of the car, but I don't know what's going on because they won't tell me because I'm not his wife.
Now, notice she said she told his mom that they got into an argument and he got out of the car. Does that sound like the same thing she said earlier? No. She said Tyrone jumped from a moving vehicle going 25 miles per hour as she was coming out of a U-turn. Now, when you contact his mama, you saying, oh, Tyrone got out of the car and I don't know what happened. Girl, those two different things. Okay, those are two different things. Right, Shelly? She does a lot of that. I'm noticing she does a lot of irrelevant conversation stuff we don't care about. Get to the gist. Tell us what happened to Tyrone Davis. Okay, so you're telling it in a different way when you contacted his mom. And would his dad number be in Dro's phone? Exactly. The dad phone number too. She said, you funny. Yes, girl. I did see this lady, Janice. Y'all, breaking news was Sean Grayson, the officer, y'all, that had shot the lady, Sonia Massey. He passed away. Because remember, he was trying to get out of jail because he had cancer. So y'all see how quick that came back around? Okay. That lady said she rebuked him in the name of Jesus and he shot her with boiling hot water. She was moving from the stove. They shouldn't have been in her house anyways. Yeah, she's telling the truth. Wait, you say she's telling the truth next to kin? Yeah, the next to kin was his mom and dad, but at the same time, if she was really trying to get help or the word out, she could have gotten his phone. I'm pretty sure there were a lot of contacts in the phone. Okay. Now, another thing that did come out in this interview, hey Sharon, is his mother allegedly told her not to let the others know on some stuff too. Okay. Like she was trying to keep it a secret from the other side of the family as well. I want y'all to peep the play with that too.
So that was like early in the morning on, what would I say, Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. So she shot up here, and that's when the process started, where I was able to hear partly of what was going on with him in the room when he was in ICU, because his mother was there at that place. And did I answer you guys' question?
So you want to start a podcast, but you're not sure how. Riverside's got you covered. First, go to riverside.com and open an account. And when
Did I answer the question?
You answered it.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry, did you ask us a question?
No.
Did you? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
Does his mom's side of the family not get along with the dad's side?
I wouldn't say they don't get along, but they're also not, like, they don't communicate as much. Like, they kind of come together if they have for something, but they're not just like communicating with each other, and they don't have the best past relationship.
How do you, is this the most traumatic thing you've ever been through?
Yes. Outside of my accident that I got into, and my accident I got into is more traumatic as the after effects, because I don't remember the pieces. I just remember driving, and I was told by police from a witness what actually happened with my accident. So it was crazy. When I was driving by myself, I had ended up, I don't know if I was reaching for my phone, because I was talking, actually, we were boyfriend and girlfriend at that time, way back then too. And I was reaching for my, oh no, we was talking back then, and I just remember telling him I'm tired, I'm sleepy. So I don't know if I had reached for my phone or whatnot, but my car ended up, based off the police report, veering from this lane to the mid and hitting the median and flipping 5 times. And I had to be airlifted to the hospital and everything.
Wow.
So it was a tough recovery, hence to why I have the arthritis now and everything like that. I broke my wrist, facial fractures. I have like a little dimple that it turned into after it healed after those years, and due to facial fractures, stuff on my neck. So as far as the after effect, my accident would be the most traumatic, but this for sure is the most traumatic.
Okay.
And how do you deal with
Now,
those kind of traumatic
we're going to
events?
pause there for a second, because Lulu, we can't do that. Okay. So for those of you who have not been following this story, I want to go back to a portion of a live that I did explaining this accident. The reason why I wanted to share a snippet of that live where we talked about this accident is because it sets up patterns. Okay. Now, she had a boyfriend at the time named Willie. Okay. She's just trying to gloss over that, like, oh, I was bending down for my phone, and, I hit something and the car flipped and I don't remember nothing. And no, y'all, it's bad. Okay, so let's get into it. Make sure y'all hit that like button. It is for free. And she was not by herself. She was with her ex-boyfriend, Willie, who said he can't even remember. Now, he the one that can't remember what happened in those moments, allegedly. He probably faking the memory loss so he don't have to deal with you. He wanted to move on. That man has moved on to another city, a new woman. He looks happy. Okay, and thank the Lord he made it out alive. He don't even want to mention Lulu properly. Also show y'all this. Okay, let me pull these up. We're gonna look at these one by one. On the video, so y'all may hear me talking double. Let's see here. Thank you for your patience. All right, so this is one of the incident reports, okay? So it says the date of crash was May 6th, 2017 at 4:19 a.m. Now, y'all, I'm on another screen. Welcome everyone coming in. Mods, Shelly, if y'all can kind of watch the chat for me, whoever else is in here modding, because I may not see it. Now, it shows that the restraint system that she used her shoulder and lap belt. Okay. Now her airbag was deployed. Okay. It says she was seated on the left in the front row. Now, the driver's actions at the time of crash, she operated a motor vehicle in a careless or negligent manner, I should say, manner. The driver was distracted by electronic communication device, cell phone. Okay, her vision was not obscured. Now, this should have been something that they should have definitely done in her case. Now, she did not get this done in this particular case or in the case with Dro. It says suspected alcohol use. No. Alcohol test given? No. Test was not given. Suspected drug use? No. Was the test given? No. How come? Okay, because if you're in a whole vehicle and a vehicle has flipped, I don't want to hear about you were looking for a phone. Okay, they should have really tested her during that time to see if there was any alcohol or drugs in her system. For the simple fact, y'all, once she got the cell phone, allegedly, she still couldn't control the car. Okay, somebody he got a nice talking to. Maybe she was holding his face. Okay, oh, I love you. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my gosh. Maybe she was doing all of that to him. He didn't want to come to court. I don't know why the poor man couldn't come to court or why they couldn't do it with a video hearing or something of that sort. Okay, yeah, she was undoubtedly impaired. Hey, Tronisa. Black Butterfly said, if you go look through all T2 pics and Lulu, you will see pics of them as early as 2019, which I think that's when they started messing around because she was a side chick. It was probably some type of overlap somewhere. Okay, because if she was talking about 10 years ago, that would have given 2015 during the time this happened with Dro. Okay, 10 years back. And he was relaxed just enough to never wake up again. See, no test given. We're in the black world. Does that happen? Seriously. Right. Okay. Thank you. She was quick to grab that phone. She grabbed the phone in all of these accidents. She grabbed the phone back then. Okay. She grabbed the phone during Dro's case, child, and they still don't know what the other phones are. They still looking for the cell phones. So, baby, she quick with these phones. Oh, you're fine. Thank you so much for your support. This is crazy, but either way, I look at this case, everything screams Lulu. Okay, so they didn't test her for alcohol. They didn't test her for drugs. Okay, now the passenger was Willie Williams. Okay, it said that his injury was severe, incapacitating. What? Okay, ejected totally. It said that his restraint system, none used. Now, his airbag did come out. It was deployed. Okay. And then they have her charged with careless driving. Okay, and then they give the officer's name and things of that sort, the Florida statute number, and all of that. But y'all, that bothers me that she was not tested in neither one of these cases. Okay, that's what some people were alleging. I'm not sure, y'all. I don't know about all of that. But hey, I've seen people bring it up. Now y'all can see why Dion never let her drive. He heard about Willie. Now, Teresa, who is Dion? Now we got another player. Who is Dion? What character is this in this story? Because I had never heard of a Dion. It's always Lulu for me, right, Karen? Karen has definitely said that. Hey, London. Right, LaShandra. We both trying to figure out who is Dion. Hey, Sheila. Sounds like she's not a good driver. Okay. She really is a smooth criminal. Yes, she grabs phones. That's where the info is. And she's been schooled. She unsnapped his seatbelt just prior to impact. Oh, I had thought about that too. I had definitely thought about that. I said, well, did she kind of reach over and unsnap the man's seatbelt right when she went into the wall? And we're going to look at that part too to see the narrative that they have and what really happened. Okay. Shout out to T Lady for gifting a membership. Thank you so much, sis, and thank you for being a sponsor. Look, everybody's saying, who is Dion? Oh, girl, tell us something. I said, now wait a minute, child. Was Dion after Willie and before Troy? I was about to say we can't take no more characters right now. We close. Okay. Hey, T Mills, child, we close. Okay, we trying to figure this out with all the characters. With all the characters we already got. We don't need no more characters in this story. Okay, we trying to figure this case out and trying to see what happened. Who is the y'all in the statement? T1 said, y'all left my son. Girl, we still trying to figure that out. Okay, that was my running question last night, was who was y'all? Because I thought it was one person, and someone brought up a good point today where they said, well, he only said he was mad at Lulu for not calling him, and what was the other thing? Oh, shoots. He said he was mad at her for not calling him. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. That. Hey, Catherine, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I'm certain the narrative next one. I'll be talking a lot. Let me take this videos. Read it because I know it's probably okay. So I'm gonna pause it and read the narrative at the bottom for y'all. Okay, let me move this so y'all can see it too. Okay, so it says, just so we can move back to the interrogation room footage. It says vehicle 1 was traveling eastbound in the inside lane of Interstate 4, State Road 400, just east of State Road 429, Daniel Webster Western Beltway. Driver 1, which was Lulu, stated she dropped her cellular phone and reached down to retrieve it. Driver 1 failed to maintain control of vehicle 1 and traveled into the center lane. Driver 1 overcorrected, overturned, and continued traveling forward. So she didn't even try to brake. Y'all remember that movie that just came out with that one girl? What's the name of that? That was on Netflix. Mackenzie. Okay, because I did a live comparing Mackenzie and Lulu. She didn't even try to brake, y'all. She kept traveling forward. Vehicle 1 traveled back onto the interstate while overturning several times. Vehicle 1 came to a final rest on its right side partially between the outside lane and the center lane of eastbound Interstate 4 facing south. Passenger 1, which is Willie, was ejected from vehicle 1 and landed on the interstate. Passenger 1 was transported to the hospital prior to my arrival. Okay, so my thing is this, and they put careless, the charge is careless driving. So the way she's trying to, and this was in Orlando, he went to Orlando Regional Medical Center. Now, she's trying to make it look like this is like a little accident. No. This was huge. He could have lost his life. Okay, that man was out. It had incapacitated. Thank the Lord, he worked a miracle. He can walk again. So it wasn't something that was minor, y'all. But she didn't want to portray it like that to those detectives, because this would have looked like a pattern. Now, here's a photo of what the car did. Okay, it's traveling, and then all of a sudden, here we go. What happened in that moment? See, she talking about she reached for a phone. Girl, you ain't traveling on no highway reaching down for no phone. I'm almost wondering, did you purposely try to run into that barrier? Okay, and poor Willie, his seatbelt wasn't on, just like Dro's seatbelt wasn't on, but best believe hers was on. Okay, hers was on both times. Okay, right. It's not her first rodeo. She got out of this, y'all. She has not had to pay the consequences for any of her previous actions, her previous tickets as well. Okay, because she's had previous tickets about careless driving, going 90 some miles per hour. Okay, then they were dropping the cases. Like, what in the world? It was crazy work. So I just wanted to highlight that for y'all because she's making it seem like it wasn't major. It was major. Okay, so let's continue.
What kind of person are you in the sense of like how you handle emotions and now I would say the pressure of the family getting on it. So like how do you internalize this? How because I want to understand your presentation. I'm gonna be honest with you right now, right? Because I think a little bit of the what we tend to see is that these are traumatic incidents, and then someone may not be responding how they typically would because they're in shock or there's other things happening. So I don't want to judge you based on how you're presenting, right? I want to understand how you're presenting and kind of get an idea of what's going on in your mind.
Okay.
Okay, because but there's no right or wrong way.
Okay.
I'm not saying this because you're doing something wrong.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make sure I ask how are you doing? How are you internalizing this? And what's your thought process been? And how do you typically handle situations that have been traumatic, like your accident before?
Typically, or not just the accident before, but other stuff, I typically tend to internalize things and keep it to myself. I typically don't talk about things and I've learned in the past from my past experience and mistakes that I made from me internalizing things and not sharing how I felt, it has caused me to blow up and respond to people in a way that I shouldn't. Like I'm saying mean things or I'm yelling, for smaller situations because I have all of that built up. And that's just how I've always been since I was younger. Like I'm a super private person and I don't like instead of like expressing myself and having somebody to talk to, I typically don't do that. But in this situation, I haven't been like that because his mom and his two sisters on his mom's side have been extremely supportive to me, and I've just been, just expressing to them how I felt, and them giving me reassurance to not feel guilty because it's not my fault. And his mom telling me, I know my son. I know sometimes his anger gets the best of him, and he was impulsive, and he jumped out that car, and my son caused his death. You're not responsible, Kiara, because you did not push him. I mean, she didn't say you didn't push him. She said you're not responsible, Kiara, because you did not force him out of.
Wait, what? Who pushed him? Let's see.
How are you doing? How are you internalizing this? And what's your thought process been? And how do you typically handle situations that have been traumatic, like your accident before?
Typically, or not just the accident before, but other stuff, I typically tend to internalize things and keep it to myself. I typically don't talk about things I've learned in the past from my past experience and mistakes that I made from me internalizing things and not sharing how I felt, it has caused me to blow up and respond to people in a way that I shouldn't. Like I'm saying mean things or I'm yelling, for smaller situations because I have all of that built up. And that's just how I've always been since I was younger. Like I'm a super private person and I don't like instead of like expressing myself and having somebody to talk to, I typically don't do that. But in this situation, I haven't been like that because his mom and his two sisters on his mom's side have been extremely supportive to me, and I've just been, just expressing to them how I felt, and them giving me reassurance to not feel guilty because it's not my fault. And his mom telling me, I know my son. I know sometimes his anger gets the best of him, and he was impulsive, and he jumped out that car, and my son caused his death. You're not responsible, Kiara, because you did not push him. I mean, she didn't say you didn't push him. She said you're not responsible, Kiara, because you did not force him out of.
Okay, pause for a second, child. What? So mama, before they could even do an investigation, okay, said, Kiara, you're not guilty. You don't feel, and she said, mama and his sisters, okay, you did not push, and she corrected herself. Well, if she didn't push, who did? Because why would that word come to mind? And why would mama not want? Because look, child, my son ended up dead on the side of a road. I need to know what happened to him. Now, his mom is putting Dro's death on him, according to what Lulu just threw Dro's mother under the bus. Now, whether she said this or not, hey, that's between her and Lulu. But Lulu is putting it back on her that no, you're not guilty. You didn't push. I mean, well, she didn't say push, but force him out of the vehicle. That his anger got the best of him. What? That's questionable. So you mean to tell me you believe your son jumped from a moving vehicle going, what she's saying, 20, 25 miles, which that's a lot, 20, 25 miles per hour? And you weren't even there and don't know the situation, or oops, ooh. Do you? I mean, do you really know what happened? I mean, I'm just wondering. Is it something we don't know? Okay, because I would think Mama would have been on son's side, not Lulu's side. That's my opinion of that. I'm just thinking, me as a mom, you his girlfriend, my son goes down there, and you telling me this story that don't make a bit of sense. They have not done an investigation or anything, and I'm gonna keep telling you, oh no, you don't have to feel bad. You're not guilty. He did it. He did it. What? I can't understand that either. Yeah, I believe so, Alitab. She's letting it out right here. Okay, shout out to God's Gift. Thank you for the jewels. I appreciate that. Thank you for being a sponsor. Yes, I just want y'all to hear that, peep that play right there.
Made that decision to get out of that car, and it's like this time it's just been different because I guess because it involves somebody else, but they've been so supportive, so I've been handling it completely different than what I typically do because I've been having that outlet to where I just feel like, okay, I have somebody. I feel like the whole world against me because of dad's side and what they're posting and doing, and not just their dad, but just people, you know, who are connected to going and making their own narrative. And I just don't feel alone because I'm like, dang, his own mama is just like, she's, you know, trusting it because, you know, she spoke to the police officer initially and they told her like, you know, certain things or whatnot. And she's just like, I have no reason not to believe you. I don't think you hit my son. And, you know, like, and she was like, even looking at his mark, she was just like, yeah, if you hit him, like it's no way that you can have that type of break someone's skull with a bottle, with the Hennessy bottle. And then also too, you would have certain lashes or cuts because it's glass that you're being hit with. So
and also his mom was telling the police that she believed Lulu also, y'all. So the other family was really not involved in this conversation, which is what also brought about some conflict. Okay, Lulu knew who to go to. She's not crazy. She went to his mom. She didn't want to go to the other side because they were going to look at her like, girl, what did you do to Dro? Okay, she already knew that story didn't sound right. So then it's just questionable if the story does not sound right or make sense. Why his mom was so easy to go with that and to relay that to the police, because they're going to feel like, well, hey, mama believe one. We ain't really got too much proof. I mean, what do we do? It was accidental. I mean, and still, that's not accidental. Okay? Even if y'all going to go with that he jumped out of this moving vehicle, that's not accidental. To me, that would be intentional, right? So what are you really trying to say? So you can't, in that case, you can't have two things at one time unless it's something else that went on that we don't know about. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, in cahoots allegedly. Okay, that's what it's given. And you co-signing that to the police department. God's coming, Lulu, in due season, as well as all involved. You better say it. And then where, you know, the whole Hennessy bottle situation. Okay, that came out earlier on. So people were wondering, well, did she hit him in the back of the head with the Hennessy bottle? All of that. Because they did have one bottle they was trying to give to Jason, the friend, but they couldn't get in touch with him. Okay, she said they had finished up the other Hennessy bottle that they had. Okay, I think as the Hennessy bottle is, the glass wouldn't necessarily break. This sounds like an insurance policy set up. Okay, Karen Michelle is new to this case and she's already clocked it. I'm telling y'all, like, she's already picking up on it. It's crazy work.
not possible. And she was just like, his sister was like, yes, you would have had to hit my brother with a hammer and then we would have had an issue. And like, it was more of just making it like, I trust you, you know, that type of situation. So I've been and then my friends have been super supportive. And so actually this is a situation I've actually never handled like this, being this open. And I guess it's probably because, I don't know if it has anything to do with death or something else, a possible death, because he just passed away this morning. So this whole time I've been communicating. So I don't know if it's because of the severity, or I don't know if it's because, you know, I felt like I was changing and trying to be more open. So sorry. But this is the first major situation that I feel like, I guess, like this definitely wouldn't be a good idea to internalize. And I've just been naturally just being very open about it.
Okay. If you don't mind, are you had any other questions real quick?
No.
Okay. If you don't mind, let's go ahead and go back a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Because this is where it's gonna get quite important for us.
Okay.
I need to take you back into that car.
Okay.
Okay, it's gonna be tough.
Okay.
Okay. If you need a break, get a break. But we need to get in that car. I want you to paint this picture like it's a movie playing out.
Okay.
And I know how the mind works. I'm not expecting you to remember everything. But trauma sometimes some things are very vivid, some things aren't. Whatever's the most clearest, please share.
Okay.
Whatever you don't know, don't make up. Okay. I'm not
Okay.
expecting a mirror. I understand how it works. It's a very traumatic event.
Yeah.
But I want to get into the car with you, and I want to build up into that moment that he ends up getting out of that car.
Okay.
I want you to take your time, think about it, think about that conversation, think about how close you are to each
I
other.
thought about that life.
Think about it. Okay, we're leaving Papa John's. So let's
Yeah.
start there. We're
Okay.
leaving Papa John's. So just play that back
So
for me.
we're leaving Papa John's, and at that point, he's still trying to express how he feels and how I'm making him feel with the whole sex thing. So I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to talk about this no more. Like, you're not hearing me. Every time I keep trying to talk to you, keep over talking me. Like, we gonna agree to disagree, because I'm tired of us having this conversation every now and then about you feeling like your needs, or you making it to like I'm just such the problem when it comes to that or whatnot. So I remember turning up my music or whatnot. He was like, don't turn up your music, I'm talking to you, and him turning it down. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm so tired of us going through this. Like, if you don't want to be with me, like, you don't have to be with me. We don't have to keep going through this same thing of us having this disconnect. And at that point, I don't know at what point I was making a U-turn, and he jumped out. Like, it was such a short ride from that Papa John's to that intersection. So it wasn't really much time for a lot of dialogue.
But is he moving himself around? Like, is he looking like he's contemplating this? Like, what is his demeanor?
So I was driving, so I wasn't paying attention on how he talks with his hands. So I knew he was looking at me and he was talking with his hands, but it wasn't anything.
So he wasn't like, he didn't have his hand on that handle, kind of like, was he threatening to get out?
No,
He didn't say, I want to leave your ass?
no,
Never
no.
said stop the car.
No, no.
So
no.
he's not saying anything like that. He's
No.
not
He's just going back and
foreshadowing.
forth with me. Yeah.
He's not foreshadowing and like he's gonna get out of this car.
No, nothing to my knowledge of that. No.
Okay.
No.
So that doesn't happen. Okay. But you're driving. But
I'm
you're
looking at him sometimes.
you're
step on-
sensing that he's looking at you. He's talking with his
exactly.
hands.
Exactly. And like I said, we're going back and forth about, like I said, him cutting me off, him saying like he tired of us going through that, me saying I'm tired, like all that stuff. But like I said, we weren't talking for long because the intersection was so close. Like, so I mean, that time frame was so close. So it wasn't a lot that was really said. But I mean, we had been arguing the whole day. So
Did he have anything in the car with him in the passenger seat? Anything else besides his person? I know you guys picked up the pizza, so where was the pizza at?
it was in his lap.
So the pizza's in his lap.
Yeah, the pizza's in his lap. He had it sitting on his lap.
So he has it sitting on his lap,
Yeah.
and then he gets out the car. Do you know what comes with the pizza?
You said
Do you know what happens to the pizza?
No, the only thing I knew what happened to the pizza that was on the road, because the nurse was just like, I seen a pizza, because I was telling them like we had just left from getting food, and it was like, that's where the pizza came from. But so that's how I knew it was on the road, but I didn't personally see it. I to this day don't even know where it was at on the road.
Okay, but the pizza was not in your car any
No.
longer.
Yeah, it went out the car with him.
With him.
Yeah.
Okay. So it gets out with him.
Y'all, it went out with him. Then she says, so the pizza gets out with him. What? So pizza can walk, pizza can jump. Y'all know if Tyrone had that pizza and the wings, that would have been all around his body where his body was found. It was no pizza box right there, no wings. I can't see them in the picture. The only thing I see is one little, look like somebody had bit off a piece of a slice in front of the car that was parked right there. But you don't see no box of pizza and wings like right there by his body. Okay, so I'm confused by that as well. Okay, you holding pizza, you arguing. She's saying he moving his hands. So I guess all of that in one little swoop. I'm opening the door, taking pizza wings. I'm gonna jump out. I got my Glock on me. I got my phone, my wallet. Those weren't even in his pocket. They just laid neatly out on the side of his body. What? I mean, does that make sense to y'all? I'm just trying to see if I'm crazy. It's still not adding up. I can imagine Dro saying, I'm done, I'm leaving, possibly. Okay, no emotions. During this part, no. You can tell Tyrone was getting tired of Lulu. His clothes were too clean. Right, exactly. Yeah, talking about it went with him. Okay, so the pizza got out too. What? I'm not laughing at the situation, girl, but you know how many rounds we had a whole series. We sure did. Y'all, we were talking about this. We don't went. If you go back, y'all will see some lives we just went into the pizza and wings, y'all. We were hearing about pizza and wings this whole 4 or 5 months. We trying to find the pizza and the wings. Then when we finally get the pictures from the police department, I had did a FOIA request, and I'm looking at the pictures. It looks like it's staged. The whole scene looks staged. It didn't even look real. And his clothes are clean too, y'all. Okay, so no dirt on the white tank top. So how do you explain that? But he just jumped out the vehicle. Body neatly clean, no scrapes like, where you would have it gravel and stuff like that. None of that. None of that. Yes, it looked like he was placed there. Okay, in your sweatpants. Come on, he got on flip-flop slides. So he doing all of that. This man was just trying to go eat. Okay, he was trying to go eat according to you. And he just, this whole escalation. Okay, and now he's on the side of the road. Why take pizza to walk up and get back in a vehicle? You could have left it in. Thank you. Okay, thank you. A clean, fresh shirt on, no pizza or wing stains. Thank you. Shout out to Katrina for the jewels. Thank you, sis, and thank you for being a sponsor. And that's the part that's I don't get. I don't see where he had that gun. And those witnesses never brought up gun. So that part there was suspicious to me too. Yeah, she real calm. Oh, but watch. Hey, Clarinetta, she said, I'm behind today, y'all. Open book, not trying to get off topic. Oh, yeah. I've been hearing about it. Yes, we're going to tap in. Now, y'all, and thank you. I want y'all to pay attention to when she does get emotional. Okay, because it's going to come in a second. Pay attention to when the shift happens and what makes her emotional. Hey, the Queen stand. Welcome, sis.
As he's opening this door, what's your reaction? What are you doing at that point? Think back for me. The door is opening. What are you doing?
I think at that point, once I saw him open the door, I think, Tyrone, what the fuck? I think that's how I responded to him. Yeah. But again, I'm not thinking it's a big deal because he'll jump out of the car. Not, like I said, it caught me off guard with it being during anger because he's never done that. But I'm not thinking what the fuck? Why are you doing all that?
Right.
You're taking it too far at this point. That's why I said what the fuck. You're taking it too far. Not more of a scared, but more of a aggravated. You are just taking this too far, right. This conversation. Mm-hmm.
Anything else in that moment that you can think of right now that stands out to you? Any last, did he look back at you before he gets out of this car? Do you have one final look in his eyes? Anything else that stops in time, for you, that just stands still, or the most important thing that stands out in your head, most vivid image? Or
the only image is of him literally taking it and getting out. He had the piece in his hand and getting out like that. like open it because the doors they automatically lock in my car when you start driving. So him and getting out.
Okay,
Yeah,
so he unlocks it himself.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, because you know your door locks.
Exactly.
automatically.
So that's why I came up with that type of conclusion.
Okay,
Do you remember if the windows were down?
No,
or
the
up?
windows were up.
Windows up.
Yeah, the AC was on him for sure because he hates being hot and he doesn't like regular like window air. So I'm sure we had on the AC with the windows being up.
Do you remember as soon as you realized the door was open, like trying to slow down, hit the brake at all, or
I might have
Kinda maybe
naturally
speed
did.
up,
Yeah, I might have
or-
naturally did it when I heard it. And Tyrone, what the fuck? But I can't remember honestly. I can't remember.
Fast.
But just off a natural instinct, it's probably a huge possibility that I probably did slow up some when I saw him open the door.
is there any reason that you would have sped up?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't think you sped up?
No, I don't think so. As far as I don't think I sped up, but as far as if there's any reason that I might have sped up, is just being angry that he's doing the most of me feeling like you're doing too much and you're making this situation way bigger by jumping out of the car, like or removing yourself. Like we're arguing, but you didn't have to leave the car. So if I did speed up, it was just more out of frustration to like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like now you're getting out the car, like let's just go back to the hotel and finish chilling, that type of situation.
There we go. There we go. That what the F? Because he got out. Now she mad that he got out the car. Now she said in that case she would have sped up. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all clock that part of why she would have sped up? That gives more. I want y'all to listen to her words just in those moments. We're gonna look at for part one. We're gonna look at probably about 10 more minutes of this, and then we'll do part two on another live because this thing is 4 hours, y'all. Okay, I want y'all to listen to that part of her story.
as soon as you realized the door was open, like trying to slow down, hit the brake at all, or
I might have
Kinda maybe
naturally
speed
did.
up,
Yeah, I might have
or-
naturally did it when I heard it. And Tyrone, what the fuck? But I can't remember honestly. I can't remember. But just off a natural instinct, it's probably a huge possibility that I probably did slow up some when I saw him open the door.
Is there any reason that you would have sped up?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't think you sped up?
No, I don't think so. As far as I don't think I sped up, but as far as if there's any reason that I might have sped up, is just being angry that he's doing the most of me feeling like you're doing too much and you're making this situation way bigger by jumping out of the car, like or removing yourself. Like we're arguing, but you didn't have to leave the car. So if I did speed up, it was just more out of frustration to like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like now you're getting out the car, like let's just go back to the hotel and finish chilling, that type of situation.
Okay. So, I mean, you are emotional. You
Mhm.
both are upset,
Yeah.
right? So we can't ignore that,
Mhm.
right? That's important
Yeah.
because that could change dynamics, right? It could make you accelerate versus slowing down,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're calm and you're in the car and somebody goes to jump out, I think you're most likely to
You're
brake,
gonna
right?
stop.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're upset, you could do the opposite,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you could.
Especially with the history of knowing that, not really thinking it as a big deal, if that makes sense. Because like I said, him jumping out of the car wasn't like a concern for him being suicidal or something happening. It's more of like, I know that he was mad and he just wanted to get away from me.
Right.
To where like it surprised me to the extent to where he never did that while he was mad at me specifically. But it was more of like, I know he will jump out the car. I've seen him as hanging out, him jumping out of the car, his friends saying, like, Tutu, you just jump out the car.
Now, my thing is, see, he was mad and wanted to get out. Okay. She didn't want it to get to that point where it got that bad that, wait, you actually want to get out the car right here? That made her get even more so upset. It escalated. Notice she said that he was trying to talk to her. She keep turning up the radio. See, she's on another level at this point. Okay, she's aggravated. So now you're talking through scenarios almost like O.J. Simpson. Well, hey, if I did do it, come on now. We got to read between the lines with people like her. Okay, she said if she did speed up and saying what the F is because, oh, he's doing it now. He wants to get away from me, remove himself out of this car. Okay, and then she sped up. Is that what you're saying, Lulu? And why is she dressed like the little old lady that lived in? Lady Janice. Okay, I was thinking that too. I ain't never seen her looking like this with the hair, all of that. Nobody said he was suicidal. Okay, but your reverse psycho BS, that part. See, she's little parts of this, she's giving some stuff away. Okay, she's trying to like regroup when she does that, but read between the lines, y'all. Just really read between the lines on her.
Or like past stories that they had said. So
This frustration, right? In that moment, I mean, was it your intent to hurt him?
of course not. No.
Was your intent to, again, to speed off from him and help him get out the door faster?
No, of course not. No. Never. Because like I said, the fact that he even did that, he's never gotten on the car during anger. So I wouldn't, like, it's, how sometimes someone can be frustrated with someone doing something all the time and they might have done that, but no, it would have, no.
I mean, but you do say it's possible you could have accelerated just because of you were frustrated.
After the door closed.
But not, right, but not to the point of like, you want to hurt him. Like you
No.
want to, okay.
Yeah, I just said the possible because it's like if you're mad, like, it's like driving off like that, like we all know.
Like speeding off.
It's like speeding off, like just something like that. So not like, hitting the gas or nothing like that, but just maybe it's more accelerated as opposed to, like you said, the example of if we weren't arguing, he jumped out of the car, I definitely probably would have stopped in spot to figure out what was going on unconsciously. I would not unconsciously, but even though traffic's flowing, I wouldn't cared about that. I would have stopped immediately to go ahead and like, what's going on type of situation.
What if you learned, right? Because physics is physics.
Yeah.
Right? And autopsies will happen and it will be concluded like the reason for his death will be determined.
Yes.
Right? And whoever's going to be examining him, they're going to have everything they need. They're going to have documentation of the officers on scene, how he was found, the injuries he sustained, all those things. That's going to happen. Okay. It is what it is. We're going to come to that conclusion here. Right. What if you learned that as a result of you, let's just say the worst case scenario here, that you did accelerate and that kind of cause and effect, right? Yeah, he's already exiting the door, outside the door, right? He made that decision, sure.
Yeah.
But what if you learned that it was the acceleration that kind of made things worse? How would that make you feel?
I would be even more heartbroken because it's just like I already feel like, because he typically is the one who drives us. So the fact that I was even driving to even be in that situation for him to jump out and me actually being a part of the reason why it would crush me because it's just like I don't want to see any harm to him, and it's just like thank God the ambulances, everything was coming from the direction that I was in because I would eventually, drove down because maybe he went the opposite way, but it put more of a speed to me to see what was going on because it's like, I'm just taking it as he's just mad. Like, I'm just looking at it as just a different argument. He's mad and wanted space. And it's just like, to go back, like, I already feel like a piece of me died when he died. But to hear that I was a part of that, even unintentionally, would make me, just the thought of it just makes me just so uncomfortable because it's like, how can, like, that's not what I tried to do. And it was just, I don't know, just the thought of it, it just is like, it makes me uncomfortable at just the thought because it's just like, never in my life would I ever put him in a position to die or to be hurt in that way. And to hear that I was a part of that, I already feel guilty, and I wasn't the one who pushed him out of the car. I wasn't the one who opened the door. I wasn't any person that had any process of that part of it. And it's like, I already feel guilty because I was the one that was driving.
Oh, y'all see when she gets emotional? When someone clocks that she could have had a part in Tyrone's death. Okay, see, with us and the content creators that were calling her out, she didn't like that. But then she went to this police station to try to prove a point, try to speak her innocence. She felt comfortable when Dro's mom was like, oh, no, Kiara, it's not your fault. Dro, he jumped. It's his fault. He did it. He the cause of his own death. That's her comfort. But because this lady is peeping the play and she's saying, well, what if? Oh, she don't want nobody to think she could have very well been a part. And what you mean, Lulu? You weren't the one to push him. Well, who did? Okay, who did? I want y'all to see when her emotions started rising. Okay, it's when this lady really started putting it out there. Now, with her, it may have started off, look, I'm in my feelings, I'm mad, I did something to try to hurt him, but did I intentionally want to kill him? Those would be the next questions. Okay, y'all see, I'm going to rewind just that little part because I want y'all to see when the emotion built and how certain things slipped out in this moment.
Right. What if you learned that as a result of you, let's just say the worst case scenario here, that you did accelerate, and that kind of cause and effect, right? Yeah, he's already exiting outside the door, right? He made that decision, sure.
Yeah.
But what if you learned that it was the acceleration that kind of made things worse? How would that make you feel?
I would be even more heartbroken because it's just like I already feel like, because he typically is the one who drives us. So the fact that I was even driving to even be in that situation for him to jump out and me actually being a part of the reason why it would crush me, because it's just like I don't want to see any harm to him. And it's just like thank God the ambulances, everything was coming from the direction that I was in, because I would eventually drove because maybe he went the opposite way, but it put more of a speed to me to see what was going on, because it's like I'm just taking it as he's just mad. Like I'm just looking at it as just a different argument. He's mad in one space, and it's just like to go back. Like I already feel like a piece of me died when he died, but to hear that I was a part of that, even unintentionally, would make me. Just the thought of it just makes me just so uncomfortable, because it's like, how can, that's not what I tried to do. And it was just, I don't know, just the thought of it, it just is like, it makes me uncomfortable at just the thought, because it's just like, never in my life would I ever put him in a position to die or to be hurt in that way. And to hear that I was a part of that, I already feel guilty, and I wasn't the one who pushed him out the car. I wasn't the one who opened the door. I wasn't any person that had any process of that part of it. And it's like I already feel guilty because I was the one that was driving. So to hear that me accelerating more made it worse with, I don't know.
Okay. Let me give you a minute. I know it's a lot to give. All right, let's give you a minute. I'm sorry.
I'll say we're not saying that's what happened.
No.
We're not saying that happened at all.
But this is the thing. I know this is rough, and I only do this because we don't know yet, right?
I'm sorry. I think that's the thought.
Of course.
Just me
Of course. But we just don't know yet, right? And I'm sorry I have to give you that possibility, but I just think we would not be doing a good enough interview or justice, because we're going to be asked questions, right? Did we ask these specific questions to you? Because we have bosses, we have the answers to some people, and we want to know the truth. We want to get to the bottom of it as well. It's not just like, oh, did you do your job today? No, we want to know what happened.
It's just almost like I can't. I think I just got emotional just because.
Of course, but I have to consider the possibilities.
Yeah.
Right? I have to. I wouldn't be doing a good job if I didn't consider all possibilities. And I'm sorry if this, this is going to be upsetting, and I'm sorry, but I just have to ask. Okay?
It's okay.
All right. Take your time. Take a breather.
We'll give you a few minutes.
I'm sorry.
No. Don't be sorry. No, you don't have nothing to be sorry about.
It's not supposed to be.
right, Sheila. Okay, I'm gonna pause there, y'all. We're gonna pause for part one there, but there's something else I want to show y'all from the the incident report, that kind of something that stood out to me that I hadn't seen before. Sheila said the thought of her being arrested is what got her emotional. We seen none of these emotions this whole interview thus far when speaking of the love of her life. Exactly that part. Okay, notice when the emotion. See, Lulu has never had to pay the price. Even when she went to jail for that incident, when Dro came and got her out of jail, she didn't stay. They came and got her out. She didn't even go to jail for what happened with Willie. She didn't even have to pay tickets for the failure to control her speed. She got out of those. She's never had to pay the price. So this little piece right here is almost like the detective was kind of giving her back some of what could have happened. Oh, that thing scared her. She like, oh, wait a second. You mean to tell me somebody don't believe me? I've been sitting here being calm, giving y'all all the information, and how dare you not believe me and accuse me of these things that could have possibly happened? Am I going to go to jail now? What in the world? It caught her off kilter. Then at the end, when they walked out, notice that she knew she had said too much. Bits and pieces of the truth slipped out. Okay, when that lady caught her off guard, it slipped out. Her composure is so odd. You would think he passed a year ago. Everyone is different, but this is odd. Right. And this was less than a week from when he had died. Yes. She knew they did not believe those lies. Exactly. Right. That morning. But I thought she had said that this was a Wednesday later on in this interview. I'm going to have to get, when we get to that part, I'm going to try to figure that out. Because I don't know why I was thinking she said Wednesday, because they said a week from today, which when they were trying to get the whole car situation together. Y'all, it's too much. So this was the day. Okay. Thank y'all. Nobody believes you, not even Auntie Natasha. Okay. Nobody believed those lies. So let me pull up this incident report. I want to show y'all something that stood out to me today. All right. So remember that Lulu and Dro went to a Fairfield Inn. Okay. They went to a Fairfield Inn. Now, notice here on this incident report, it says, after speaking with Kiara over the phone, Detective Quinn and I, now this is Detective Dose, which was the lead detective. And y'all, I'm side-eyeing this detective right here. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if he knows somebody or Lulu knows him or what, but some of the stuff he doing up in this report, he leaving out some stuff. Because, I mean, we clearly heard her saying way more stuff than what he put in this report. Okay, but we'll get to that at a later date. So, I mean, when we do the next live about this. So after speaking with Kiara over the phone, Detective Quinn and I began canvassing for surveillance video. Detective Quinn obtained video from Papa John's, while I collected video from the Fairfield Inn. Okay, that's where they were staying. They had checked into. At the Fairfield Inn, I spoke with the manager. Peep the name, detectives. Adam McGovern. Okay, so for documentation purposes, I am using the timestamps on these surveillance videos. It should be noted that the timestamp on Fairfield's surveillance system was ahead by approximately 6 minutes. The video from the Fairfield Inn showed Tyrone and Kiara checking into the hotel. Kiara's vehicle parks under the awning at the front doors of the lobby, and Kiara exits the driver's seat and walks into the lobby at 15:04 hours, 14:58 actual hours actual time on December the 27th. Now at 15:05 hours, Tyrone exits the front passenger seat of the vehicle shirtless. Tyrone opens the rear hatch and the rear passenger door. Tyrone removes a backpack from the back seat and walks to the rear of the vehicle, where he puts a shirt on and then enters the lobby at 15:07 hours. Tyrone appears to have no issues. No issues walking. After checking in, Tyrone and Kiara exit the lobby at 15:13 hours. Kiara gets into the driver's seat of the vehicle while Tyrone removes a bag and backpack from the rear hatch. Tyrone then appears to get more items from the front passenger seat area. Kiara then drives away as Tyrone is closing the front passenger door at 15:15 hours. Now we're going to come back to that because the detective that was interviewing her on this video stated something that Detective Dose left out right here. And we want to know why. Okay, we want to know why. Kiara drives south on Southwest 37 Boulevard toward Southwest Archer Road. Tyrone goes back into the hotel and is seen going up to his room. At 17:08 hours, Kiara returns to the hotel and parks outside the lobby. At 17:17 hours, Tyrone exits the hotel and enters the front passenger seat of the vehicle. The vehicle sits for a little bit and then leaves south on Southwest 37 Boulevard at 17:19 hours. Tyrone was not seen on video from the time he entered the hotel room after checking in and exiting his room after Kiara arrived. Okay, now, because he never came back, y'all. That was the last time they saw him on video there. Let's move on to this part. I want y'all to peep something. Now, notice this paragraph, this top paragraph, okay? Now, the detective says, when I arrived back at the GPD station, I reviewed the surveillance videos and noticed a video uploaded by McGovern from Country Inn and Suites, 4015 Southwest 43rd Street. Wait, what? What? I thought you just said that Adam McGovern was the manager at where? Fairfield Inn. Now, why is a McGovern over here at the Country Inn and Suites, which is, y'all, the camera footage that's right there at the corner? It's right there at the corner that caught, or should have caught, the whole incident. Now, it's saying that McGovern uploaded cameras or the video from Country Inn and Suites. So I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a second. Is Fairfield Inn and Country Inn and Suites ran by the same companies? No. Fairfield Inn and the Postcard Cabins are Marriott. Lulu has experience and has worked for Marriott, but Country Inn and Suites is Radisson. So he can't work for two different companies. So I said, wait a second. Okay, so I reviewed the surveillance videos and noticed a video uploaded by McGovern from Country Inn and Suites. This video showed Kiara's vehicle traveling west on Southwest Archer Road and doing a U-turn at the I-75 southbound entrance ramp and then traveling east on Southwest Archer Road. In this video, it appears the vehicle's front passenger door begins to open near the completion of the U-turn. After completing the U-turn, Kiara's vehicle is seen traveling west out of the camera's view. Nobody is seen exiting the vehicle. A group of vehicles that were stopped at the light traveling east began driving when the eastbound light turns green. Just prior to these vehicles driving out of view, I want y'all to keep that, you begin to see brake lights and vehicles stopping. Okay? Now, did Kiara stop? Oh, it was out of view. Oh, okay. Now, check this out. He's saying, I spoke with McGovern, who said he knew the manager at Country Inn and Suites. Uh-oh. So we got a manager over at Fairfield Inn. He's saying that he knows the manager at Country Inn and Suites. But McGovern, how did you upload a video from Country Inn and Suites. And this is what confused me a while back. And I couldn't understand that. Because he said he knew the manager. He wasn't the manager here. And then he said, I spoke with McGovern, who said he knew the manager at Country Inn and Suites and had them send him the video to upload. This video was recorded from a phone viewing the monitor. Now, the video, for one, I'm still trying to figure out, McGovern, why you all involved in it at 2 different hotels. That's number one. Number two is, notice that the manager at Country Inn and Suites did not send the video that was directly from the camera footage. They positioned their cell phone over the video and purposely, in my opinion, positioned it where it didn't catch the actual act and what took place. Because the critical things that we needed to see were what? Out of view. Okay, then it says on December 31st, 2025, I then went to the Country Inn and Suites because now the detective wanted to review the video of his own because he wants to see the stuff that you can't see from a cell phone recording of it. But I was unable to locate it on their system. I later learned that the video had been recorded over as the surveillance system overrides itself a set amount of time. Now say what? Say what? So Lulu, who helping you? Because who is McGovern? Because McGovern, it looks like, got a lot of pull in different places. And who is the manager at that Country Inn and Suites? Whose cell phone was used to record from a video that should have been sent to the police? But y'all putting the position in the phone over certain things and y'all uploaded that. See, did Lulu get to y'all first? I want to know. Or did somebody else have the, oh, where are the cameras right here in this area? Because Lulu, you even posted on your IG, you went around asking about cameras. You even gave that part away. That you, oh, I was trying to find the cameras in the area so I could see what happened. No, 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 no. Why did you really want to see what happened? You wanted to see what happened because you wanted to see if it caught it. Did you really stop and let Tyrone out and drove off and accelerated and knocked him back? Because they can't see you coming out of a U-turn and Tyrone jumping from a vehicle. Somebody got access to those people and told them, hey, y'all don't have this video, just send them this, okay? Don't show. Because why did the cars stop? Why did they see you? Where the cars that were on the video that they sent with the cell phone, they said that the cars, they did brake, right? They okay, they stopped. Why did they stop, Lulu? Why did they stop? Why is it that when you were coming out of the U-turn at the point where we could have seen if Dro jumped from that vehicle, how come that part was out of view? So who do you know? And how is a person by the name of McGovern involved with the situations at so many hotels on behalf of you? Okay, because they ain't trying to help Dro out because they would have kept all of the footage. Okay, nobody would have had to record. That's suspicious in itself. Why would the manager use his phone to record over a video and then upload that to the police department? Because first of all, how did McGovern get it from a whole different hotel chain? Because first he sent something and then told the police, oh, well, I know the manager over there at the Country Inn and Suites. So why you got so many connections at these different hotels? You need to be worried about the footage where okay, so you and the manager over there when they got out, okay? When they got out, they were supposed to stay there. Oh, and when Lulu came back, by herself because Dro was in the hospital. But Lulu kept that room. She kept that room at the Fairfield. So what was going on there? So these police, what y'all need to do, and also y'all that's going to come out, I'll just give you a little teaser. What's going to come out since Detective Dose, he didn't want to put it into the report right here, this little paragraph right here. Well, the detective that is interviewing Lulu said that Lulu not just took off after Dro got his stuff out the car. She accelerated out of there so fast it almost knocked him back right there. And she ran over a curb at the doggone hotel. She had already tried to take the man out once before she went to the T-Mobile. So then you done came, Lulu. Well, whose idea was it to go and get Papa John's? Now I'm wondering, because you had already almost, according to that lady, that investigator, she had came to you with the footage. You weren't expecting that part. See, it wasn't just, oh, I dropped him off at the hotel, then I wanted to go get a new router. I went to T-Mobile. No, they said you sped off so fast. And not just at that hotel, at the Circle K. So you running out over curbs. Girl, you don't even need to be behind a steering wheel. You done almost took Willie out of here. You did take Dro out of here. And who's going to be next? So all those fake tears, girl, stop. You done already said too much during this interview. And I hope Dro's family continue to apply pressure at Gainesville Police Department so they could arrest her and put her in jail. Because this here is not a good look. And they failed Dro, y'all. To me, they failed Dro. Okay? They failed Dro. When I saw this, I was like, this is so suspect. Like, who is this person? And then she's giving out all these little hints and, oh my God, if I did, it's because of this. And if I, no, you know what happened, Lulu. You know what happened to him. If you had any amount of love or respect, you will go down to that police department tomorrow and tell them what happened to Dro. Right, we gonna clock it. Seriously, she knows. Her anger and rage got the best of her. You better say it. And who, like I said, who's to say? And I'm gonna say allegedly. I'm gonna just say allegedly, but baby, I feel this with the surety in my bones. You know what happened to Dro. All this I'm going to see because I didn't know. And no, some stuff you left out intentionally. Exactly, Patrice. It wasn't her first rodeo, and Dro won't be her last, unfortunately, until she stopped. These men better pay attention. Yes, clock the timestamps. Yes. Okay, and I'm going to go back and do that too. Yeah, she said it out of her own mouth. And like I said, maybe it was one of those situations, but my thing is this, okay? Until that detective told us, because that was new info, that at that hotel she had already seen the footage and how Lulu took off during that time, that's the part that makes me think that the whole situation right there on the side of the road, that, hey, you didn't go back to the hotel for a reason. You talking about, oh, we were arguing so much and I missed a turn 2 times. How you missed 2 turns? Okay. Because maybe it might have been, oh, well, she was in the feelings and, they were arguing and, Dro got out, hey, she possibly could have been mad and kind of sped off a little too fast, but you had just did it. That wasn't enough at the hotel. And then you hitting curbs. I'm surprised the car wasn't dented up from hitting curbs. Girl, you don't need to be driving. That's why Dro drove everywhere. He probably knew what happened with Willie. You may have told him that story. He like, oh, heck no. You ain't never driving a car with me. Oh, but this time you broke pattern. You were so mad and this was your car. Okay, you just had to drive this particular time. What was different this time, Lulu? When I wasn't feeling good and that's why we weren't having sex, and I just told him, I'm just not in the mood and stuff. So you're not feeling good. Your leg is not doing well, but this time you chose to drive and you go to a T-Mobile not feeling just the best for 2 hours. Right, exactly, Lena. Right. She knows exactly what happened. Right, LaShondra. They have them entering pizza place 5:15 and exiting. Wait a second. Not exiting the hotel at 5:17. Wait a minute, girl. Let me see. At 5:17. Look, let me go back. Let me put my glasses on. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Hold up. Now we got more lies. Okay. The surveillance video from Papa John's, located at 3605 Southwest Archer Road, showed Tyrone enter the store at 17:15 hours, places an order, and exits at 17:18. But then if you go up here, the tail end of that, it does say at 17:17 hours, Tyrone exits the hotel. Now, if we take that back 6, because remember they said the 6 minutes. So that would be 17:11. But the place was further. You are right about that. The timestamp at the pizza place would be different, because that means that he would have exited the hotel at, according to this, if it's a 6-minute gap, because remember they said it's ahead 6 minutes, right? Okay, notice up here 15:04 is 14:58. So that means 17:17 will be 17:11. So if they're seeing him entering the store at 17:15, something's off with that. Something's off. That's another error right there. Wow. I didn't even notice that was his. Not only does she know what happened to Dro, but okay, Lady Janice, we're gonna say allegedly, but hey, peep the play. Okay, Allentown feels it was set up. Yes, why get behind the wheel if you so angry? Yeah, I think she did too, Hoodies. Yeah. So that's why she went up to that police station with the two. It's crazy that she doesn't remember her getting out of the car, but she's giving so much detail of him getting out, and when he closed the door, okay, you better clock it. Not Kathy Bates. Okay, go back. I'll be 2 times. On what part? Look, I'm behind in my chat. I just was talking, y'all, and reading. Okay, let's see. Hey, Becca. Yes, I just noticed that part. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because that's not enough time. Because if it's a 6-minute gap, then that means that, because that would be 17, that would be like 5:11. But then it's saying they see Tyrone entering 5:15. So wait, y'all. Oh my gosh. So the person that was going into the pizza place, do y'all think that that person was already in position? I mean, did they see? I'm curious to know when Lulu got there, because they see him entering a store, right? And I'm gonna have to go back. Let me see. Let me look at this report, because I thought that where she parked was out of view. See, now y'all got me really thinking now. See, we weren't trying to get this deep tonight. Let me see this part right here, because I thought I saw that they had parked when they were looking at the footage, another detective. Okay, let me see, y'all. This is, hey, this random right here. This hot off the press info we trying to find. Because I thought it said at, okay, let's see. Am I going back too far? Okay, let me go. Am I going back to the right way? I think I am. When they were trying to get, okay, let's see. I thought, okay, let's see. She advised them. Okay, this one, Taquisha sister was telling them on stuff that they would see, but it was a part they actually went there. Okay, let me go back this way. Okay, this is when they had the camera footage for all of the locations. Okay, and so I'm looking for the part where it talks about the pizza place, because where they parked, I believe it was out of view. And the way that they could see her car was from a business across the street. Okay, give me 1 second, y'all. Might be getting to it. I just want to be sure on something. I know I'm gonna come back to that, because I know she was talking about when they asked her about did she look up certain search histories. Y'all, where is that? I'm gonna have to find that. I don't want to be doing all this. Let me see some of y'all comments. I'm gonna have to find that part, because I thought, anybody remember that? Because I'm gonna look for it. Y'all remember when it said there at the Papa John's that they had parked out of view? She don't remember him getting getting out to open the door, but she remembers him closing it up. She remember the pizza going out. Okay, right. Somebody, Becca say, come on over to the open book. She definitely, if she gonna stay in the bushes, she ain't coming in here, but she welcome. I mean, if you want to open up and tell us more, give us some clarity. Oh my gosh, did they see Dro face? If not, that's what I'm saying, Lena. That's what I'm trying to look. We are all thinking alike. Oh my goodness. Right. Okay. There you go. Like, okay, so Life remembers that too. Okay. Let me see here. OMG. Because they had to go across the street to look at, the pizza place. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, this is going to be, y'all, because I didn't even catch the timestamp like that. Okay, because that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. Oh my goodness. You can take it in there. Oh my goodness, y'all. Let's see. And I bet you, as soon as I try to get off from here, and I'm gonna be like, nah, I find it. Hold on, y'all. This is, oh my God. Because I didn't even think about that till you just said it. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. I just found it, y'all. Okay, so y'all see, let's see what paragraph. Let me pull it up so it'll be the first paragraph. Right here. We're going to look at this first paragraph. It says the surveillance, I was already at the download paragraph. The surveillance video from Papa John's, located at 3605 Southwest Archer Road, showed Tyrone enter the store at 17:15 hours, place an order, and exit at 17:18 hours. Tyrone walks back into Papa John's at 17:36 hours, pick up his order, and exits at 17:37 hours. Tyrone was carrying a box of pizza and a pack of chicken wings as he walked out the store. The vehicle was not parked in view of any cameras at Papa John's. So who was that, Lulu? Because how are y'all leaving? Come on now, life. Okay. Ooh, I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch that part. Okay, I just had caught the McGovern part. But wait a minute, Tyrone can't be in two places at one time. Hey, Bert, who going into Papa John's? Okay, because y'all got an little imitator. Who was it? Because y'all, I just find it strange, y'all. This is one thing I found strange. And welcome everyone coming on in. Hey, Bert. Let's see, like Vegan said, I'm just listening in. Are you in the chat cracking cases on this lazy Sunday afternoon break? That's why I said my kids then popped in here a couple of times. They probably like, what's going on? It's gonna be better. Now wait a minute, y'all. And I'm gonna get off because we gotta bring some of this, okay, to part two. Okay, y'all know I told you I was gonna be a whole series when we got this footage. Now, wait a second. You mean to tell me? I think so too. Okay. Now, leaving the hotel, it says Kiara drives away as Tyrone closes the door. So was she already tripping? Yes, exactly. It is what is. That's what the detective's going to bring up in another part of the video. She saw how she drove off. She even saw them arguing at the hotel and said that Kiara looked more upset than drove. Yes, that's why we know it's her that was really, really upset. Okay, now if they're leaving at 5:11 from the hotel and that place is not just close by, you have to drive over there. It's further away than 4 minutes. Okay, how is Dro walking into Papa John's? And I just find it odd that when they found Dro's body, he didn't have his jewelry on. He didn't have his head scarf thing on. So I want to know, I forget what they call it. I want to say head scarf and do-rags. I think they call them do-rags. So I want to know, did these cops actually see Dro's face? Or was it someone that had a build like him? Or, you see what I'm saying? Clothes like him. Huh. Interesting. Because how can he be at the same place? I mean, two places at the same time. They would have still been in transit while they saw someone going into Papa John's. I never saw that before. Okay, Bert, thank you. Lulu, if you love Tyrone, tell what happened to Tyrone. I mean, that's what we are at this point. Okay, I'm so sick of Nolan's targeted friends. And I'm sick of Lulu. I just need these people to speak up and tell what really happened. See, Sheila, I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I mean, because this here, I didn't even think about all of this. She said, I was just popping my popcorn. Okay, over 3 hours and 30 minutes on a Sunday, my whole Sunday evening, child. I don't think Tyrone went into the pizza place. She said she was not the one who opened the door and all that. And y'all, I still find it odd that next to Tyrone, if Tyrone truly jumped from, or even if he got out of the car, like she's saying, and she sped off, why wasn't the pizza and wings by him somewhere? Okay, like what happened with all of that? Because none of it was shown in the pictures. The only thing we saw in the crime scene photos was something that looked like it could have been a possible little slice that had been bitten into. That's it. But it seemed like it would have smashed, or you would have seen a couple more slices like around them. Like everything was just placed so neatly. You got the wallet, a few dollars poking out. You got the phone sitting on top. Like, where the rest of the stuff? But there was a video when the family went, they recorded a video of some pizza, a pizza box, and a container of wings that still had the moisture. But where was that stuff in the crime scene photo? I'm still trying to understand that. So how again is Tyrone going to, oh, y'all, this is crazy work. I didn't think nothing else was going to pop off with this case. But this here, they got some explaining to do. We all know who resembles him. Uh-oh. Belt size and height. Uh-oh. Oh. That's what I said. Was she even driving at the time? Her windows are tinted. Oh my gosh. Very interesting. He was at Papa John's before he looked. Well, you got to factor in the 6-minute differences. Okay. Or life. I always wonder. Now, did you tell me female or male? Some of these names y'all forget. If y'all told me it was male or female behind the page. Okay. Don't forget to clock the 6 minutes. They said the times there was a 6-minute gap, but still, it looked like a council. That's what it did kind of favor at first. Clean shirt and his shoes and slides. Okay. Tyrone didn't jump from that car. He didn't. Did y'all say his shirt was still white? Yes. No dirt. No dirt. It wasn't even any road, the little road rash from if you were jumping from a vehicle or if you had some dirt from the ground on his body. No, it looked like, y'all, when I got those photos, when I did that FOIA request and I was preparing myself, well, for one, I was clicking through each link. I didn't know what pictures were going to pop up because they weren't labeled. And so when that picture popped up, I said, this the crime scene photo or what they call the accident scene photo? It looked like a photo, like people posing for it. He just like he was asleep. He didn't have none of his jewelry on, the white tank top. And then he had the sweat so you could kind of see the top of his boxers. And then that was it. And he didn't even have on his little scarf that he had on. And I didn't see the pizza or the wings. I'm like, well, where are these pizza and wings? Then they had the wallet, just a few dollars hanging out, which were the $3 $5 bills that he won from a game they played at the cabin. That was kind of poked out. And then he had a phone laid neatly on top of the wallet. But wouldn't the phone and wallet be all over the place? Then the first guy who taking pictures of everything, that's the person that I was trying to like side eye to. That whole thing was weird as well. He taking pictures of person's body and all of that. So it's, y'all, because now I'm trying to think this through. So they definitely saw him leaving the hotel. Oh, now there's no footage of him anywhere else. If you think about it, the only other place, y'all, would be Papa John's. Now, I haven't thought about this scenario before until now we have this info. Is it possible that he was in that car and at the same time the body was being put out there, that there was another stunt double going into the pizza place while Tyrone's body could have been put out there? This is a whole other theory, y'all. Not the whole he got out and she just drove off part. But these times I'm just trying to figure out now, why are they off like this? You see what I'm saying? Like something in the way his body was found. Something is off with all of this. Remember, a friend was supposed to have been there. Where, Miss Hartfield? Yeah, no dirt. Yeah, nothing. But see, I find this odd too, Lena. Why is it that if those wings were at his feet, how come none of that was put into the pictures? That wasn't put into the pictures. So I'm not understanding that part either. Yeah, he was too clean. Hey, it goes back because we still trying to figure out where was Jason at. Okay. Now Lulu did say the cousin came to the, because she gonna talk about that in this interview coming up. I know I'm giving y'all kind of teasers, but yeah, she gonna talk about the cousin coming to confront her at the hospital. So he was possibly in town. We still don't know what Jason was because you weren't at that car show. Oh, yeah, we saying all alleged, child, because we just trying to figure out what happened. Okay, all alleged. Oh my gosh. Black pants and no debris on them. That would stand out. Exactly. Remember they reported one of Tyrone's friends met her. No, that, well, one of the friends, Jason, did eventually come up there with his, well, like I said, I don't know when Jason got up there. People have been saying that he was allegedly there already. Okay. Then he's saying no, he wasn't. Oh, because they other friend called him out on that live too, y'all. What's his name? The big guy. He called him out on that live about that. Cause see, he didn't know some of this. And Jason was getting all nervous. But Jason, where were you? Cause for one, Dro was trying to call you on video. That's what's so funny. You didn't even answer the phone for your boy. He was just trying to give you your bottle of Hennessy. So he couldn't even get in touch with Jason. Then we see these text messages, and then some replies are deleted. You can't even see what was said. Okay. So he could possibly have still been there. Remember, Lulu just said she wasn't the one who pushed Dro. She wasn't the one who opened the door. Okay. Child, it's, oh my gosh. I didn't even realize this little part. They need to be locked up. Yes, that's what the man said, the one with the girlfriend. The one who's not at the car show. Yes, that's his name, Desd, Jason. Yes, right, Ellen. Like, girl, that we have been talking about that for 5 months. I was looking for some pizza and wings, and we did not see that in those pictures. You think he was at the Papa John? He might, because why her car parked out of view, y'all? How come the car was parked out of view? They did not have proof. Everywhere we need to see Dro, we couldn't see Dro. We couldn't see Dro to make sure it was him getting out their car because they saw him getting in. Okay. One place they saw him getting in was at the Fairfield Inn. But anywhere else, they couldn't see Dro. Okay, because the car parked, she done parked way somewhere. See, they knew where these cameras were, y'all. Okay, somebody knew where the cameras were. Because how come everything is out of view? This is really interesting. She say, Queenstand said her initial feeling was it was planned for his birthday, but he did talk to him. She was in the back seat. When, for the Christmas thing? Now I know when you talking about when she was in the back seat when they were at that what y'all call it, the Wawa, not the one that was in Gainesville, but the one before they left. No, he was leaving a message on the phone. That's the call I'm talking about. Because she was trying to get in touch. He was trying to get in touch with them. He claimed he was home and rode with the mom and sister to the hospital. Yeah, that's what he said. But people were alleging that he was there. And so then he uploaded this car show video to show he was there. But y'all, we found the original video. The original video was from another year. It wasn't from that year. It was, I think, 2024. So that's when I did that. If y'all go back to that video where I talked about that. Yes. So I said, come up with another alibi because you weren't there, sir. That's an older video. And we also noticed the reflection in the guy that was recording. It was not Jason recording it. It wasn't like a live. It was somebody else in that video. So we don't know where he was. That's crazy. She needs to be locked up. Oh, I hope they open, they need to reopen this case, y'all. Like, seriously, after seeing this interrogation room footage, they need to reopen this case and really do the work. Like, we are already peeping so much. And y'all, that's only the first hour. That's only the first hour. It took us 3 hours and 50 minutes for 1 hour of it. I think so too, Lena. At one point, yeah, when she got into it with them, that's why she brought that incident up. See, she tries to get ahead of stuff. So she brought it up. Yeah, they probably heard a loud noise. But girl, you telling too much. Cause I mean, if it wasn't brought out, why you trying to explain everything? And trying to hurry up and get a new router. They seen a black man with similar height, weight, and build, so it had to be right. Exactly, because I want to know if they saw his face. This case is not challenging enough for me, but I do want justice for Dro, so I'll be riding along. HGY, you like all of the stuff we got to go through. How many 20,000 characters, child? Okay. We're trying to unlock this character with this one connected to this one connected to... Believe me, it's some in this case. Okay. Lulu's demeanor proves it's more to her lies. Exactly. Friends be jealous too, right? Before they left, he did talk to Jason. He said he was asleep because Dro was like, babe, what? Yeah, but I thought on that call it was a voicemail. Remember? He wasn't on the phone. Now maybe we're talking about something else. Maybe we're talking about two different situations. Let's see here. Listen at how she say on the road. Who said on the road? I think he was there and home to take Dro's car back and then rode back with mom and sister. So, oh. Well, no, because where did he say the car was? Wasn't it when they took him back? I thought he said when they took him back, they took the car. Or did he drive Dro's car down? Oh, but no. I don't know. Now I'm getting confused on that part. Did he drive Dro's car down? Because I thought that's how they got it too. Yeah, HGY, it is more lax. Oh, child. Okay. So we're going to pause there, y'all, because, oh my gosh, I gotta process this. Because, baby, this here, y'all done got me hyped at the same time as I gotta go check on my kids and stuff like that, child. It's a work day tomorrow, so I gotta make sure they good for it in the morning. But we're gonna put a bookmark for part 1. We're gonna come back. For those of you who are just following this, I'm gonna show the body cam footage video again so y'all can see her demeanor, since she's trying to act like she was all, oh my gosh, what happened? No, girl. You were acting just as relaxed. And so y'all can see how the police just basically gave her a story to go with. Okay. I mean, basically. The ambulance too, they were a little suspect too. They sat there too long for me. Like, y'all should have been gone. Okay. But they kind of lingered. I don't know what that was about. So we're going to tap into that. Now go back to the video that was after she went out for his. Oh, that's the one. Okay. I didn't see that one. Okay. We're talking about two different ones. He took the car over there. Okay. Thank you. All right, y'all. So we're going to be back for a part 2. I'm going to try to do part 2 sometime tomorrow. But I got to do me some homework on the Nolan Wells case. I'm hearing we got some updates and so forth. Nerdy Pink Panda and all of that. So we're going to tap into some updates from the weekend in our Nolan Wells case. So those of you who are following in Dro's case and you're not following in Nolan Wells, make sure you tap in for that as well. Let's see. Thank you. And shout out to the mods that were in the building on tonight. Thank you, ladies, so much. You're welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Also, special thanks to the sponsors, Detective London, Cakes Bless, Rhonda, let's see, Doc becoming a member again, Alicia, let's see, did I say Cakes Bless? Sharon, God's Gift, Katrina, Life as Nakisha. Thank y'all so much for being sponsors on tonight. Yes, I heard she's on YouTube now. Okay, shout out to Nerdy Pink Panda. I am so excited for her. Good night, Alatab, and thank you all so much. Make sure y'all hit that like button. It is for free. Also, if you would like to support the channel or be a sponsor, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat. My Cash App is scrolling on the screen, or buy a coffee, and those links are in the chat. Also, don't forget to hype up the video, subscribe, and hit that bell, because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank y'all so much. I'll check it, Irma, and y'all have a great, great night and a fantastic week. Until next time, bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.